geen beeld op de andere computer.
Vlekkeloos.
Ben je vergeten de slaapstand uit te zetten?
No, I think I found it. There we are. Perfect. Alright. Slight technical difficulties. Apologies for that. Welcome to Mydel Mysteries. We, the people that you see on your screen, are a group of people from the Netherlands who play D&D. We have decided to stream our content so that we can save the recordings of our sessions. Also, cast Fireball, always Fireball, says somebody in chat. Okay, we'll try. Because we're unable to play offline currently due to the coronavirus, we are forced to play online anyways, and we might as well open the game up for people who want to watch, which is probably nobody except for somebody who wants to cast Fireball. We'll start off by quickly introducing the players that we have here, and from left to right would be Tess first. Tess.
Well, I play Tosi Terrific, a wild magic sorcerer who is also a tiefling with a knack for parlor tricks and deception stuff.
Deception stuff, perfect. That works for me.
Yeah.
Next in line would be Theodas.
Yeah, so my name is Steph, and I play Theodas in this campaign setting.
Perfect. Anything you'd like to tell us about Theodas before we start?
He's an elf.
Perfect.
On the hill.
All you need to know. All right, Sydney. Tell us about Sydney.
My name is Patrick, and I play Sydney Brightstone. He's a young monk, and human monk. And that's about it.
Okay, and we'll end off with Bryn.
My name is Theodore, and I play Bryn, an elven wizard that specializes in also things with blades. So he is, in fact, a blade singer. And someone who has spent his life sheltered a bit and deep in research about everything. And is trying to explore the world now.
Good, very good. We're already a little later than we usually would be when playing because we had some pre-session shenanigans to get everything sorted and everything working in Foundry, which is the virtual tabletop that we're using tonight. We have a couple of modules turned on that we need to verify are all working, which I think they are, hopefully. So we'll run into some technical issues maybe, or we'll see what happens during the session. But most of it, like we said, is just us messing about and trying to get everything working. We already did a session in groups of 2 previously, and this is the first time that the group hopefully meet up, depending on what the players decide to do today. And after that, it's an adventure, so we'll see what happens. Long story short, I think everybody's set to go. I have my beer ready. We will be having a short break. We will not be doing giveaways like some other streams because Theodore has spent all our money on minis that he bought. So
Yep.
Unfortunately.
And with that, let's start the show. I think I had music turned on, but apparently it's already off again. Let's press this button. We have a little bit of music. Okay, our story for tonight starts in Wigton, a mining city below ground in the Wigtonlandian Empire. A small group of adventurers arrive at the town after fighting off a group of hooded figures on the road and then defeating another group in a farmstead. A strange note is found, which seems to indicate that the hooded figures are looking for a specific item. But they arrive here with the knowledge that one of those hooded figures escaped from them during the fight and could possibly already be going after the object. 2 other adventurers find themselves a few levels below ground already. Chasing after a thief led them into a mostly collapsed cave where they had to fight with small reptilian humanoids. And they slaughtered them like animals. We will start off tonight with the group that is still above ground. The cart arrives with haste and stops just short of what appears to be a massive lid. It is made out of thick stone layer of gneiss. Gneiss is a type of rock. I went a little too deep in my description of gneiss the last time we did a session, which lasted about 15 minutes, telling people how gneiss is cultivated and everything. If you're interested, hit me up after the session. The other half of the hole is just open and very deep. There are multiple large cranes placed just above the hole that seem to be actively bringing goods up and down this deep, large shaft. Basically, in simple terms, it is a gigantic hole in the ground, just a circle and then a hole, and half of that has what appears to be a lid on top of it. It's about 20 feet high, and then closes off the entire thing. But half. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yep.
Perfect. I had an artist rendition of this. I could maybe quickly throw it in there. If
It's
you...
a really good one. It's a really good one.
It's very well made.
It's pure art.
Let me quickly... what was it? Journal entry, right? Yeah. Artist rendition. So if you'll give me a moment, I'll throw that in there. Image. Now where was it? Ah, there it is. It's beautiful.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it's worth the wait. I promise.
It really is. Like,
I have no doubt.
It's amazing.
Okay, here it is. Show players. There it is. So you're looking at it from a side point of view now.
All right.
If you look on the right-hand side, of course, at the very top, that's the ground. You could say. I should draw some grass or whatever. And then on the right-hand side, on the right-hand side, you have a little bit of a layer, which is, like I mentioned, 20 feet up. And then above that, below that, you have different layers, which is the layers of the Wigton city. It goes way deeper down than this, but this is sort of the first few levels that you see. Below this, there are many deep caves, and the dwarves that are working here are actively going deeper and finding veins of whatever valuable resources they can find below ground. I'll take off the artist rendition from the stream.
And the red ones were the levels of the city, I assume.
Correct. No, the red ones on the left-hand side, that was the artist rendition of the cranes. So there are multiple cranes that are operating, and if we go back to the image, let me just throw it on the screen one more time. I didn't expect it needed explanation because it's so good.
It was so clear. It's amazing.
So the red ones, yeah, the little lines are ropes, and then they move and bring up all the goods that are found below ground, and in some cases, of course, they are there to bring goods from up there to different levels of the town itself. So in some cases, goods are transported to or brought in from other cities, and that's where the all of that is dropped off using the cranes itself.
Okay.
Quite so.
I don't know why it needed so much explanation. It was really good. Okay. Does it make sense now?
Yep.
Yes.
I already gave a little bit more of an explanation about Wigton to the other group. I don't know how much I gave to the first group, because of course you weren't in Wigton the first time around.
I wrote down a gigantic hole in the ground with massive block windlass bringing up rocks.
Yeah, the cranes above, they are windlass. Look it up. I thought it was pretty neat. They're Chinese windlasses, even though there are no Chinese here. Yeah, at some points you do hear, as you arrive, the relief of pressure, which indicates to you that it must be powered by something like steam, for instance. And the windlass operates a crane, which brings a large selection of gneiss towards the surface and brings goods back down. More of these structures can be found deeper below, so there are multiple sort of levels there. As soon as the gneiss is loaded towards the top, dwarves are already on the carriage working on it. And some of them are creating bricks that interlock. Others create statues of gods. And whatever it is they're working on, the next dwarf will seamlessly continue working on it as it boards the ships. A little, like, very, very close north of Wigton, there is the river which is connected to E01, and E01 is the main destination and the main export destination of Wigton. And from there it is distributed across the realm. On your side, the point where you arrive, though, you arrive by cart, as you've moved here with quite a bit of speed, and let me just find the right point here. Yeah, when you arrive, you notice that there is an opening in the lid itself that leads towards what appears to be a circular staircase going down into the city below ground. There are 2 guards stationed on either side of the opening. As you arrive, Tarek stops the cart a little ways off from the entrance, and he turns towards the people in the back of the cart and says, "This is it, Wigton. I'll have to drop off the goods on the other side, but you should be able to enter here."
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you for the journey. It's been quite some time, but it was a fun ride.
Well,
Fun and dangerous to that.
I'm glad you saved my life at the crossroads there. So, if there's anything more I can do for you, I'll be in the city for a couple more days. You should come find me.
Sure.
I'm not quite sure which inn I'll be going to yet, but I'll definitely find one, and I'll be around certainly.
It's not that big of a town then.
It's very big. It's gonna be difficult to find me. I'll think about it. Give me a second. Yeah, I'll be in the Rude Squirrel Tavern.
Let me just note that down. The Rude Squirrel Tavern.
The Rude Squirrel.
Rude Squirrel. I didn't know squirrels were rude.
Maybe not to. Maybe they're just rude to dwarves. I've no particular opinion about squirrels, to be perfectly honest with you.
Well, I've met many a squirrel, and they're always quite nice. So, but sure, we'll look you up there.
Perfect.
Thanks for all you did, Tariq.
No problem. Ursa will be assisting me with the goods, and should also go into town as well. I'm not sure if you'll run into Ursa.
Of course, and I'll stick out my hand to clasp Ursa. It's been good fighting with you, Ursa. Thank you.
And you as well. That's sort of the voice of X. I don't know. Just an explanation. Ursa was another player that played with them in the session before, and was unable to join us tonight because he doesn't like playing with you.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yep,
Sounds legit.
it happens.
Okay. You get off the cart, I assume, and as you do, Tarek starts moving the cart further along the trail towards the other side, which is quite big in itself. It's a massive hole in the ground, so it's going to take a little while for him to move around the big lid, but there's plenty of space around here. You did see from far off that there was a large plume of smoke coming from the city itself, but it doesn't seem to originate from the hole. It seems like there are multiple small pipes that are situated a little ways away from the hole itself, which are opened up at the top and where the smoke is coming from.
Okay.
Now, the day is very much yours. It's still fairly early in the morning at this point. What would you like to do?
I think we would head into the city, so towards the cranes.
Okay. Now, before we can continue with that. Sure. You together, both of you get off the cart and it moves away towards the other side. And you move towards the entrance and see a few people in front of you enter without issue. What you do notice is that the people that arrive here, although there are a few dwarves, it's fairly busy. It's a big city, and this is the only entrance, or at least the one that you see here. What you do notice is that there are all sorts of people coming into the city itself. In front of you, in the very short road that's in front of you, you do see that there is halflings. You see a half orc. You see another race which you haven't really seen before. But there's multiple different sort of people that arrive. The one of them that stands out in particularly looks exactly like a fish, and it's a mixture of all sorts of people that arrive at the city.
As you seen that, Sydney, that's a weird character over there.
Would I have seen them in the capital?
I would say that these creatures, the fish people that you see here, you have never seen before. No.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen them before as well. It's quite.
Oh, it's not just me then. I thought I was just ill-informed or something. I mean, I've read about all sorts of races, but to see them, it's quite something else.
Yeah, they're quite odd when you look at them, but.
Well, to each his own.
That's
I
true.
suppose. I mean, why are they fish though? Can they breathe underwater? Brings up so many questions.
You mean, can they breathe on?
Well, they can breathe on Earth. I mean, they're not dropping dead or something. But
That's true.
I mean, at least that's what I reckon. Or maybe they don't breathe at all. Questions. Okay.
Well, maybe we can ask one of them.
Wouldn't that be... Sure.
I mean,
Will you? Should I?
well, we can introduce ourselves.
You do see that the fish person, there's a little queue. It's about there's about 20 people in total in front of you, and the fish is quite a bit further up the line.
Okay. Oh,
But there are all sorts of people arriving here at Wigton itself.
let's not rush to the front of the queue. Let's just join up behind, and maybe we can join up with the fishman afterwards, or woman. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to tell, isn't it? Sure. We'll see what happens.
As you
Keep an eye out for some other people. I'll just slightly look around a little bit and eye some people.
Okay, easy enough to do. With your passive perception, there's enough information that you can gain, or at least see around you. It's just a plethora of people, all sorts of people. Some of them, like I mentioned, you have never seen before. But it's rather busy, and the queue is slowly moving along towards the front. And everybody, the guards don't even question anybody per se. They just look them up and down, and they'll be on their way. And you slowly make your way further along towards the front of the queue. And as you do, you eventually arrive at the front. Now, like I mentioned, the rest of the people were able to go through without any issues. But you move towards the entrance, and as you get closer, the guards notice you. And with a soft swing, you hear the lances cross to block your pathway.
Hello.
There's two dwarven females with lances, and as you now are very close, you see that they have breastplates that are very well made. Like, it seems to be golden in itself, but as you look, you're now right close up to it. It seems as if there's some sort of like a story actually detailed on the breastplate itself, and both of them, as you stand in front of them, they both look very different, but it's beautifully crafted armor and very, very well made. You've not seen any of this before, not at the soldiers that you saw before, even though they had decent armor as well. This is like this is something created specifically for that person. And as they stand there, you see the dwarven female on the left pick up what appears to be a small piece of parchment, look up towards you two, and then say, Are you Bryn with a Y?
Yes, that is me, madam.
She looks back at the note. We have received word of your arrival. Your presence has been requested by the commander.
I suppose you've spoken to Aldrin.
Indeed, we have received word from him. The
Very
commander should be able to reward you, and he wishes to speak to you about the information you've gained.
I suppose that is very okay. Is Aldrin okay? Did he make it here all right?
He has not received Invicton, but he has given word.
Ah, grand. It's good to hear that he is doing well, I suppose. I hope.
It is recent, so we do believe he should not be in any sort of trouble. What we understand is that he has met with his company already, and that they are on the way here.
That is very good to hear. Should we accompany you, or...?
Yes, I will accompany you downstairs. And she gives a nod to the other dwarf who stands there, and the lances now separate, opening the hallway for you. And the other one stays, while the one who spoke to you, the dwarven female, now leads your way down the hallway. It's a very short hallway in itself, and then immediately leads down into what appears to be a circular staircase going down. As you follow her down the hallway itself and the staircase, the room opens up to what you would expect. The top lid is pretty much what is also continued further down the floors. It's a large open room with a lot of separate openings in the wall behind you now. So as you come in, it's a large opening and then lots of open spaces towards your left, which could be some sort of... what you gather, sort of desks behind in the wall itself. It seems like this may be the location where the goods are first offered and checked in, so to say. As you follow her in, though, you look around, and what you would expect in a cave like this seems to be more of rough-hewn walls and toughly structured things, but it's the exact opposite. You look around and you see, very similar to the breastplate, the armor that you saw, you see the walls are very, all of them are engraved. And once again, you see stories and writings on the wall, and everything appears to be engraved and very much cleaned up. And there are some pillars that stop the stories intermittently, and of course the openings where you have dwarves and people speaking to them in front. But it's something you've never, once again, seen before anywhere, any place else. There are engravings on the wall, and all of it is beautiful. And what you see is that most of the people that you saw in front of the queue, and people that are not of dwarven descent, appear to be here for some sort of tourism. They're looking at the walls, they're making notes of it. It's almost like what you would imagine the hieroglyphs in the walls of the pyramids of Egypt. This is a very similar situation, and it's everywhere. Every pillar, every wall is engraved in such a way.
Mm-hmm.
She follows you along, or she leads you down the staircase in itself, then brings you into this room, and she starts walking towards the edge of the floor, where the opening towards the rest of the hall opens up, and where you have all the cranes coming down and going back up. On the very much left-hand side, as you come down, there is this particular crane that is almost like a lift. It's not as big as the other ones, and it seems to be made only for travel, for persons, for people, like a small elevator.
Mm-hmm.
She leads you onto it, and there's a big black rock in front of it that sort of slants backwards, and it has a few what appear to be strange buttons made out of rock. And she steps on it and motions you to follow her on it.
I do so.
Yep.
With a push of the button, you just hear the upstairs, and it leads down slowly, casually, moving down, and you just see floor by floor, opening and opening as you go deeper and deeper into the hall. The weather outside, what you noticed the last couple of days was okay. It was pleasant, and the first floor that you came in here was okay as well. But as you go deeper and deeper, it starts getting warmer and warmer. And you go down a few more floors until where you've seen large openings and then connectors and hallways in front of you. You now see just a singular hallway in front of you. 1, 2, 3. And then it stops at one of the floors. So basically what you have is just a single hallway in front of you. It's large and open, and once again the walls are all engraved and very well made. And you see at the end of this hallway, you see a couple of torches which provide the light, of course. You see 2 dwarven males, fairly burly, standing there with a large warhammer on their shoulders. In between them, there's a large 2 open doors, so double doors, which is closed in front of you. And immediately, the female dwarf starts walking down the hallway. As she walks down the hallway, you follow her, and the torches seem to almost light up a bit more as you pass by them, providing a bit more light in the hallway itself. And you come towards the open doors and the closed doors, and as soon as you're almost there, they open up from inside, revealing 2 more dwarves, singular warhammer in hand again. And you come into a fairly large room in itself, which has a massive table and a single dwarf sitting behind it. As you walk into that room, you notice, of course, the table in itself. The table is, once again, it's hard to keep repeating it, but it's very beautifully made. And you see the dwarf behind it has a long blonde beard. He has no hair, but a large, long blonde beard, and a large selection of scars on the top of the head and across the face. You come into the room and you look towards your left and you see 2 other figures standing there. And now would be a good time to introduce the characters and what exactly they look like. The 2 figures that are standing there are Tess. Please introduce your character.
What you see before you is a short female tiefling in some fancy clothing, consisting of a skirt and blouse, playing with some cards while she's bored, with red skin and jet black hair.
Yes, but you'll see his slender-looking elf male of average posture, having a bow on his back, and he is hooded at the moment, so you can't see his face directly. But you do see seeing his long blonde hair coming out of the hood.
Okay, as the other people come into the room, you guys notice the door suddenly opening. Actually, without warning, the dwarf sitting behind the table just spoke to you and said that he had something else to offer you, and then suddenly these doors open. So, Sydney, please describe who comes walking into the room.
Yes, you see a young male human with brown eyes, and he's about 5 to 6 feet tall. He has long dark brown hair with a ponytail in it, and there's a small braid, and it's braided. He wears a long coat with red accents, and he has, well, his hands are wrapped in cloth, and he's holding a quarterstaff on his back, and he has a small cloak, and that's it.
Okay, and Bryn?
You see another elf, also young in age, looking a bit bright-eyed, looking at everything, all the splendor around him, not being used to all this, about shoulder-length blonde hair. You also see a longbow strapped to his back and a staff, big book on the belt, a short sword, dressed in leather with some detailing that resembles nature. Some leaves, some twigs drawn on the belt or drawn on the armor, and dressed in mostly natural colors, the greens, the browns, and just looking around again in awe and seeing all sorts of new things.
Yes, with regards to the new things, Theodas, you've been here in this room for a little bit, and especially you with your knowledge of gemstones and everything. Looking at the table, I already mentioned last time it's made out of stone and it's very thick. It's made out of gneiss specifically, and inlaid in the stone itself. After certain with a little bit of space in between them, you see gemstones placed in the stone itself. You see black opal, blue sapphire. You see an emerald or two, and it's perfectly inlaid. And you know that these are fairly expensive gemstones in itself. And that sort of comes back throughout the room. In its chair, you see the same thing. You see a star sapphire, a yellow sapphire. You see that he has what appears to be a silver-plated steel longsword. It's all very expensive, very grandiose. What you see in this room. He itself, though, like I mentioned, he has a large selection of scars on his face. He seems to be rather flamboyant, rather outspoken. Doesn't come off as the pompous type. As he looks up and the two people come into the room, he responds and says, "Hi, great! The other two have arrived as well. I am Negan Shatterspine. Welcome to Wigton."
Thank you, sir. I am Bryn Oakenstaff.
Bryn, yes, we were aware of your arrival.
I see. I wasn't, but good to know.
And you must be Sydney.
That is correct.
Now, the other two have not properly introduced themselves yet, but I'm sure we'll get to know each other just fine. You two, what's your name? And he points towards Tess.
It's just Tess.
Short and sweet, I like it. And you?
Well, my name is Theodas Peliaris. Nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you as well. And we've heard from both of you two groups that you've actually, without us requesting, done some work to assist us with some issues that we've ran into.
Okay. That sounds convenient. Happy to help.
It's very convenient. In your case, it seems like you've managed to assist with the capture of what is quite possibly a spy. And although we've received word from Aldrin, Weathermaster, that the spy hasn't spoken yet and is not willing to give out any sort of extra information, this is the first time one of the attackers was captured. So we were told to keep an eye out for you. I was also informed that something may have happened at some sort of farmstead. Could you tell us more about that?
Yes, of course. After the attack on the cart, we found a note saying that we might find more of the dastardly folk at a farmstead. I believe it was the Yildar farmstead. Upon arriving there, we searched the premises, and we found what we believe to be the proprietor and his wife dead in their bed. And after some thorough investigation, we found a trap door leading downwards into a dark room in which a few of those aforementioned dastardly folk were staying. And we got into quite a scuffle with them. Alas, one of them got away. But we did stop something. I think we're not entirely sure what. Are we, Sydney?
Well, we did find a note on them. Does the name DD tell you anything?
DD. I'm afraid not. All that we've heard so far is that they attacked people of the army traveling towards the south. They usually picked one or two off and then escaped. So, like I mentioned, this is the first time that we've actually captured any one of them.
Well, it seems that they are very organized, and they were, well, at least some of them were holding up in the farmstead my friend here mentioned.
You mentioned Yildar?
Yes, the Yildar farmstead.
I assume you mean the holding farmstead. Yildar was Yildar holding.
Yes, indeed. Sorry, it seemed like the thing to do to speak him by his first name. The holding farmstead, sure.
No, we are aware of who that is, of course. And he has done some work for Wigton, or provided some goods towards Wigton in the past, but it is sad to see him go. Do you happen to know where what they did to the bodies?
Well,
They are still in the farmstead. They are still in the same position as they died.
I see. We'll get some people out there, make sure they get a proper burial. But thank you. You mentioned a note. What was in the note?
But before we get to that, though, we would have, of course, done that ourselves, but it was quite dangerous still. So if you do send people there, be sure to send enough. It might still be dangerous.
Yes, we will speak to the wardens and make sure that they are sent in that direction in a larger group.
Good to hear. Yes.
And I'll
Sorry, the
walk
note.
to the bench and to the desk, and I'll hand him the note that I got from the spies.
Okay, I'll put it on the screen so that the other people see it as well. He takes a quick look at the note. Fairly quickly, he reads it and then passes it on back towards you and says, "I see. It seems like you've come here at just the right time. It's very well. I was going to send you on another mission, which
What is it?
you see that he's quite flustered by this. The message in itself, of course, cryptic towards you, but as he looks at it, he looks back towards you, and at a certain point, he just shakes his head and says, "Would you be, for a price, of course, be willing to travel to this location? If this is true and they are in fact after the anvil, then we must make sure that if it is still there, that it does not fall in the hands of whoever it is attacking our armies."
The anvil, you said?
Bromerlig's anvil is we call it an artifact, but it's not really that. It is an item which holds some properties that can be very dangerous in the wrong hands. It is, in the very easy sense of the word, just an anvil, but it is one that can create potential weapons, very strong weapons, in the hands of the wrong ones, and the wrong people. If it is even still present, then it must be found before anybody else does. This location does seem to indicate that they have an indication of where it is. And I would ask you to go and find it.
Do you mean it was lost? The
Uh,
location of the anvil?
You see, think for a second. He says, "Yes. You see, Wigton is a place that is here for many, many years. There were 5 dwarfs who settled here, went into the depths, and more dwarves have arrived since. Of course, it's very lucrative to work with E01 at the moment, but it wasn't always the case. Previously, a large kingdom of dwarves called Mydel was in the mountains, further towards the west. This is the location where there was a keep. It was a kingdom of dwarves, and it was very lucrative, and it went very well for many, many years, deep under the mountains. But eventually they were under siege. This went on for many, many years, but Mydel fell.
Do you know whom attacked the keep?
He says mostly tribes of goblins over the years, orcs, bugbears, the sorts. There were many riches down below there, and one of them was this anvil. It is a story that's been there for generations, but nobody's seen it or actually heard from it. If there is reason for these people to go and find it, then maybe it is time for us to verify if it is even there. To verify it and attempt to bring it back.
And what are you going to do with it, since it is able to craft these, like what you said, these powerful weapons?
Well, it is no coincidence that this is happening now. We've already received word of the Empire to verify its existence, but up until now, here in Wigton, we have had no chance to send anybody out. We are still excavating deeper down below, and the Wigton Watch has to verify that all of this goes down without a hitch. We've had some issues further in the depths with caves opening that shouldn't open, and cave-ins occasionally. There's a lot more that goes into mining than just digging a hole. So we've had to make sure that the upper levels are safe, and in some cases the Empire remains safe. So yes, we are here, and we're here to verify Wigton first. This was, as you could say, on the back burner.
And this Mydel, is it far from here?
Well, judging by your note, they reckon it's about 155 miles from here. Which...
So you don't know where it is exactly yourself, or?
No, it's, like I mentioned, it's an empire that was long lost. We have not gone there because there have been rumors of orcs, hill giants, and more terrifying things towards that way. And the last real effort from our company has not given any fruitful response, you could say.
And do you have any clues as to where it might be? Or do you have perhaps a library where you could do some research? Or
I could say that there is a large keep, which is set to have the opening towards it. But it is, for many years now, has been under the control of what appears to be, or has in the past been, goblins, bugbears, orcs. This keep is... you can reach it if you follow the roads towards the west, northwest actually. There are simple roads not maintained anymore, but you should be able to find it. If you travel for slightly over 6 days, I think, and follow the hilltops towards the west, then you should be able to reach it quite easily.
But you want us to bring back the so-called anvil?
That is what I am asking you to do, yes. We will provide you with a wagon with 2 horses. We can provide you with these. And he opens up a drawer, which strangely also made out of rock. And he opens the drawer and he pulls out 2 scrolls. And he hands them over towards... he holds his hand out with the 2 scrolls.
I'll walk towards him and see if I can take them.
Okay, easy enough. You accept the 2 scrolls, and with a quick peek, you are able to see that they are 2 scrolls of silence. And as you grab them, he looks up towards the rest of the group and says, "We will also provide rations for 10 days, and you will, of course, be paid in full once you return the anvil to us."
And what will the pay be?
He takes a second, looks back towards you, and says,
A quest of this proportion is not without its risks.
"No, I agree. It is of great importance to us. So what is it you would ask of us?"
Well, what can you offer us?
Just as an aside, am I to understand that we are supposed to team up, the 4 of us?
It is a quest that I would not send just 2 people on, based on the dangers that are along this road. If you are willing, then it is indeed suggested that all 4 of you go together. You 2 have shown already great strength in being able to overcome an enemy of Wigton itself. And you 2, and he points towards Tess and Theodos, have quelled a danger in our own caves. So you've proven more than capable of taking on this quest. And of course, if you fail, we can send another group after you.
That sounds a bit harsh, but, sounds fun.
Fun? Orcs and hill giants? Doesn't sound like fun.
Oh, I actually meant meeting up with you 2 and perhaps traveling together.
Yes.
Always liked meeting new people, and you seem, friendly, I think. Maybe?
I'm quite interested in this anvil.
You're not going to craft any weapon out of it, right? I'll look with a little smirk at Sydney.
And I'll say, no, I'm not that handy with anvils or smithing or anything, but I'm interested to see what this anvil could do and what its implications are.
I'll
Situations.
There's no actual response from him as you say that. He just looks towards you and doesn't seem to respond.
Well, I'd be happy to join you, Sydney, and perhaps you 2 as well.
Yes, it would be a delight to have some extra company on this journey.
I'll give an awkward thumbs up.
Then it is settled. I suggest you leave tomorrow at dawn. For tonight, though, we will make sure that you are in a good place. There are many taverns, many inns that you can go to. I would suggest the Wolf's House, which is a little bit upscale, but we will make sure that the arrangements are made that you can stay there. It is in one of the busier sections of Wigton. I hope that's not an issue for you.
No, that's no problem.
I don't think so, no. I'm wondering, though, why the Scrolls of Silence?
Scrolls out.
It is a precaution. I hope you're able to work with it. Perhaps you can silence people. It's just something we offer.
But what's the reward going to be?
I'm willing to pay each of you 75 gold pieces on return.
Just 75.
Well,
Whatever
I think
was the
75 is quite a bit of gold, my fair tiefling.
And what happens to the compensation we should get from slaying these goblins?
Very well, for all the work you have done for Wigton, both groups here, I will offer 100 gold pieces a person.
That seems
Almost
at least
fair.
nice, reasonable.
That is much appreciated, sir. Thank you.
And that includes retrieving the anvil.
That includes retrieving the anvil. Upon return, you will all be given 100 gold pieces, which, and he takes another look at Tess, is quite a bit of gold.
Well, while quite a bit is a relative term, I'll take it. Yeah.
Then it's settled. I will have my people speak to the wolves the wolves' house, and make sure that sleeping arrangements are made. Are there any particular requests for you?
In sleeping arrangements or in other things as well?
Like entertainment.
He laughs. You'll find plenty of entertainment at the wolves' house.
I'm not sure. I mean, books are entertaining, but I don't know if they have them in the Wolf's House. I'd like to study some things here while I'm in town, if I can.
Feel free to do so. You have the day in front of you. There are plenty of things to look at. Of course, that is one of the things that Wigton is known for. There's knowledge, there is information, there is also other forms of entertainment. I'm sure you will find what you need here in Wigton.
That sounds pretty good. I'd like that.
Very well. The inn is on the 3rd floor. I will have Elena, and he looks over towards the dwarf who brought you down here. I will have her bring you up to the 3rd floor, and from there, of course, you can use the staircases to bring you to wherever you wish to be.
Okay.
Very well. And what was his name again?
The name of the person you're speaking to?
Yeah.
Negan.
Negan.
Shatter spine.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you. Okay, very well. I guess that's it then. I'll say
I
awkwardly.
think so.
Very well. Get to know each other, and tomorrow you will be off. We will provide a wagon with 2 horses, and I will have somebody meet you in the morning to make sure you are on your way. The place that you are headed, the keep itself, is called Minuros.
Could you spell that for me?
I can. It's Minuroz.
With a Z?
Yes, with a Z, as in Dragon Ball.
Cool. All right, that is good to know. So
Will
a
there
cot,
be any signposts related to this minerals, to tell us where to go, or do we have to find it ourselves?
If you come closer to it, the keep itself, there were some signposts, but I'm not sure if they are still present there. So, perhaps on the ground, but I'm sure capable adventurers such as yourself are able to find this keep. As I mentioned, follow the hilltops towards the west. the first hilltop is at the base of this hill. You will be able to find the keep. From there, it travels deep down on the ground and is said to spread quite far underneath the mountains. But you will find the first hilltop towards your west.
All right.
Right.
With a big smile, he plants his hands on the table, and the dwarf behind you immediately turns around, and the doors are opened again. The big dwarves with the war hammers give you a small nod as you pass by them, and you follow the dwarven female towards the crane elevator type, and immediately as you step on, she clicks on one of the buttons again, and it goes way back up. Once again, opening. The first few are just singular hallways in front of you, and then it opens up to large spaces again. And the large spaces, all of them appear to be very different. One of them has what appears to be a market. The other one has just singular hallways, caves, and then a few more have more shops and everything. And then you come towards the third floor. The third floor in itself is what appears to be the floor that has the inns, the restaurants, the places to be. There are a few tents present here, and you, Theodas, and Tess have already been on this floor, and you actually jumped down into the pit but a day ago here. This is the floor where most of the inns are present. The rest of the day is for you. What would you like to do?
Before she leaves, I'll turn towards Elena and I'll ask her. Elena, might I ask you a question, please?
Of course, she says.
The Rude Squirrel Tavern, is this somewhere near here?
She says, all the taverns are here. The Root Squirrel is a little ways down there towards the right, and it's the one that has a squirrel on the sign.
That sounds logical, thank you.
And the squirrel makes a gesture, but I'm not repeating that.
Hence the Rude. Very apt name, thank you. Good to know.
You're welcome.
Thank you for guiding us here.
Thank you for being here, she says.
I look a bit flustered. Sure. I suppose.
Okay.
Oh.
This is your floor, she says. As you get off the elevator, you're now standing on top of the stone floor. Above you there is the stone floor again, and looking around you, you see a few pillars standing in between the rooms here. Then there are a few tents of what appears to be a simple marketman, and the elevator starts moving up towards the top floors again. The pillars in itself, once again, very beautifully made. In some cases you see gold inlaid in the pillars itself, and at the end, basically at the end where the wall is, there are many openings in the wall itself. So in the beginning it's very much open with pillars and tents in between, and then at the very end of it, it's all openings with what appear to be windows and everything. It's almost as if they created houses inside the ground. So they have glass stained windows, they have regular doors, and then on top of that they have large wooden signs explaining what sort of inn it is. But since this is a very large city, this appears to be an entire floor based solely on food and sleep. So inns, restaurants, and the sorts. You're free to go on your way.
Okay, so appears that this will be only taverns and inns at this plateau. I don't know what you guys are going to do, but I will go down to what seems to be the shopping district.
Are you in need of equipment or something else?
I'm just looking around, just sniff out what's on sale. maybe I can search something good. So
I'll look at Theodas. I think we could at least use a few healing potions, huh?
yes, we certainly can use those.
Oh, we actually have one spare one if you need it.
Well, not at the moment, but past experience have taught us that healing potions can come in handy.
Sure, they can be very useful. But are you sort of a salesperson then, Theodas?
Well, I was. My family and I, we have a merching shop. So yes,
I
always
see.
to find the best deal.
And if you don't mind me asking, I see that you are also an elf like me, and may I ask, where are you from?
Well, sure, of course. I'm from Peneth.
Peneth.
Yes,
And
it's south of here.
and is that an elven town or village, perhaps, or is it mixed?
It's mixed. It's you have here humans, you have elves, you have also half elves running around there, and that's what there is. Yes.
I see a bit of disappointment on my face, and oh, well, that sounds lovely.
Were you expecting an elven village?
I was kind of hoping. Yes,
Why is that?
I'm actually trying to find where I may be from, and all I know is that it's an elven village somewhere. And well, I was just hoping I don't come across many elves.
No, that's I'm from a village where elves do come, so yeah, I'm not surprised by elves. But I can imagine if you haven't seen anyone else recently, that it can be surprising and refreshing.
Yes, it's good to finally speak with someone of my heritage. I know so little of them. But perhaps you could tell me some stories about how you grew up at some point. It doesn't have to be now. I don't want to.
No, it's fine. We can do it on a journey since we have I thought they say 6-day travel. So
Yes, we have some time. I suppose. Yes.
if you would like, I could tell about it. And I'm also interested in your story actually because, well, I have not met someone who hasn't, that does not know where it's come from.
Yes, I suppose that must be odd to you. Yes. Sure, we should do that. And by the way, you see me being a bit nervous. You're being from a trading company or something. You said.
Yes.
I found some gems actually. Are you good with those? Do you know what they are or what they do?
I can take a look at them. Yes. I know my fair share of gems.
I'll grab my pack and just grab out the 7 gems that I found, and I'll show them. Do you perhaps know what these are?
Well, do I? Looking.
What do you?
Take a quick look at them, and you see that these are indeed 7 gems, which are, you know them as, they're opaque, orange to red-brown. You know them as carnelian gemstones. Opaque. Yeah.
Opaque.
2-pack. They're 2-pack, orange to red-brown. Carnelian. They're worth about 50 gold pieces each.
So yeah, I'm looking through the gems, and I'll hold one. And I'll look with the little, I would say, gem glasses to see what it is. This is a good find, and I'll hand them over to Bryn again. And I'll say these are carnelians, and they go for a fair share price. They are at least 50 gold pieces each.
Oh, you don't say. That's quite a bit.
It is indeed.
Well, thank you, Theodas, for yeah, thanks.
No problem.
If you have experience with these things, right?
I know my fair share of gems, yes.
would you mind if I accompany you to this trade district and see if I can perhaps trade a few of these? Because I'm actually looking for some gems, but I'm not sure how to trade.
Sure, we can do that if that's what you're up for. But I heard you also were looking for the rooting squirrel or root squirrel.
Yes, I seem to have many plans today. Well,
Well, you can first do that. You can see me at the trade district if that's what you want.
I'd rather go with you first, if you don't mind.
Sure.
If that's okay with you, Sydney.
No, it's fine with me.
Fine with me. You can do whatever you want. You're a free person. You're not obliged by anything I do or say.
No, I know that. I just never mind. Sorry. Yes, by all means, I'll join you then, Theodos.
Okay, great. Do you know the way down? And as we walk off, I guess.
No, this is my first time here.
Yeah.
Well, Theodos, the thing you've been to the first 3 floors of Wigton in itself, and you've gone down 2 floors by jumping into the gaping hole in the center.
Effective.
Very effective. You know that the first 2 floors are mostly for administration purposes, registering who comes in and what goes out. So mostly for the trade purposes. Not necessarily the shops, but it is for those. And then the 3rd floor, you have all the inns and the restaurants. That's the floor that you're on here. And 2 floors down, where you actually, that was 1 floor where mostly it was hallways and seemed to be caves where the dwarves worked. You've not been to any other floors.
Okay. No, yeah, I've only been here for a day, so I thought maybe you would know the way, but since it's your first time also, I think it's better we ask one of these wardens around here.
Yes, that sounds very smart. Yes, I agree.
Okay, great. I'll guess we walk off to search for a wall warden and ask where we can get to the trading district.
I'll just turn back and say, Sydney, Tess, we'll see you later. Bye-bye, I guess.
I'll awkwardly wave.
Or did you want to come? That's okay, I guess.
I'll look over at Sydney. What are you gonna do?
Well, I was just about to find some more things. I just want to know a little bit more of where we're going and what we're about to see and find. So I'm off to gather some information.
I can guess we can meet up at the wolf's house.
Sure.
Cool. I'll go with Sydney. Theodos, could you get me some healing potions? Be a hun.
I can see what I can do.
Okay. We'll start off with Bryn and Theodos then. It's easy enough because, like I mentioned, the guards here, they are called the Wigton Watch. You know this, Theodos. And they all wear similar type clothing or armor, at least. Like I already described, very well made, golden. It's easy to spot in a crowd in itself. And it takes a little while to watch around because this is one of the busier floors. And it's not just the people that I mentioned earlier, which are, as you can call them, the tourists, all sorts of people. The dwarves that work deeper down in the mines also come here. So you see people with sort of coaly black ashen faces, dirty clothes, and pickaxes on their shoulders, carrying around, and they walk towards the nearest inn and try to get as drunk as they can in the time. All sorts of folk are walking around here, but it's easy enough. It takes you a little while, but you spot one of the Wigton Watch and move over. And as you approach, it seems almost as if they're on their guards. 2 of them, they are. This time you meet 2 male from the Wicton Watch, and they turn towards you and immediately say, "Yeah."
Oh, well, that's a surprise. I didn't thought there were any male guards, but it seems they are still.
I would hope so.
Well, yeah, I've only encountered females, so yeah, that's because of that. Anyhow, do you know where to go to the trade district?
The trade district is one floor down. You should be able to find everything there. Over there is a staircase. There is a staircase. If you want to walk all the way over there, there's another staircase as well.
Good to know. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Well, Brun, I guess we know where we need to go.
Yes, thoroughly explained, gentlemen. Thank you.
Sure
Which area
thing.
would you want to take, Theodus?
I really don't have a preference. I guess the fastest one would be preferable.
Sounds proper.
Okay, the one closest by is about 30 feet, easy enough to walk. As you go down the staircase, once again, there's people going up and down. It's quite busy and quite active in this city. And you go down another floor and you're greeted with pretty much the same spectacle. There are a few tents in the large opening in front of you, and then if you look towards your left and right, as it's sort of a half circle, you see most of the side on your left-hand side and right-hand side. There's all sorts of... It's almost as if the tents are pop-up shops, like what you'd have here in the city, that are only there temporarily. And then in the walls, you see what appear to be the shops that have been there for a longer time.
The permanent shops.
Yeah, the pop-up shops are mostly simple food that is being prepared. You can find churros and the like. Just random people who almost like an open market. So there are specific places that are there. You can one who brings in a lot of fish from out of town and is selling it here. Another one is bringing other sorts of food. What is it specifically you're looking for?
I'm looking for some gems. So a diamond and a pearl, mostly.
Okay. Both of you give me a perception check. You're just looking around and trying to find a store.
I'm just looking at all the people and all the things that I can see.
Let's see this one.
4 and a 10. Okay, the first rolls of the campaign. You look around and it is pretty spectacular what you see. It's also a strange difference between how well made all the walls and the ceiling and even the ground now that you look down at it. No story there, but it is very well made. And you walk around and then you see the ramshackle sort of tents that are there, and just some random carts and storage boxes put in places of the people who sell there. This sort of, and the fact that it's very busy, causes you to take quite a lot of time to find the specific store that you're looking for. But eventually you come up to what appears to be a small tent, open up in the front, but it is a sort of circular tent in itself, and there's a donkey standing next to it, which is not the proprietor, but you do see a human male who is petting the donkey, and in the opening and next to it you see all sorts of little stands that have what appear to be small gemstones. As you come around, he's actually actively speaking to somebody else and does not seem to pay you any attention. He has dark brown hair, which is curly. He has a weird beard and mustache, but here in the center, there's no beard at all. The rest is I don't know what you call that sort of beard look, but it's pretty odd. But he is friendly looking in itself.
Reverse goatee.
Yeah, reverse goatee. Let's go with that. Okay. He's talking with somebody at the moment, is not paying any attention to you. What would you like to do?
I would just like to start searching the racks to see if I can find the gems that I recognize from what my master used to use.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
Yeah, I'll also like to scan a little bit to see if something catches my eyes. Not particularly searching for a certain gem, but
Okay. Bryn, you look around, and the collection is very varied in the way that even though you're not particularly aware of all things gemstones, some of these are gemstones, definitely. Others are shiny rocks, and others are not even rocks, sort of glass. It's easy enough to spot for you, and you, Theodos, especially, you see this immediately. You have a lot of knowledge, and there is a large variation of how well made and how good these gemstones are. You, Bryn, you do see some azurite, which is fairly cheap gemstones. You see tiger eye, and one of them that does hit your eye is obsidian, which is a deep black. And you've definitely seen this before in the work of your trainer.
Mm-hmm. But not the ones I'm looking for currently. No.
No.
Okay. I don't think this store has the ones I need, or perhaps I should ask the owner. Do you know if they always keep their stock open, or do they have something in the back, perhaps?
it really depends on the seller. It could be that they will not display their most expensive things on the table to prevent people to steal them. It's a possibility.
I see.
You
Then
could
I suppose I should then. Yes.
Yes.
I'll just wait for this person that is currently speaking with the master.
And does the conversation?
Yeah, as you're talking amongst yourselves, it almost seems as if he notices you now because you're talking, and he just wimps off the other one, who doesn't appear to be buying anyway, and immediately goes towards the two people who could be potential buyers. And with a great smile, he opens up towards you and says, "Welcome, welcome, friends. What can I offer you?"
I think he noticed us.
I suppose you're right.
I have indeed noticed you. What can I offer you? What are you looking for?
I'm actually looking for gems. And
You've come to the right place.
good to hear.
How many coins are you willing to part with today?
That depends on how much it costs, I think. I'm looking for something relatively specific, I think. I don't see them amongst your wares. Do you have anything else not in this display?
Not necessarily right now, but if you tell me what you're looking for, then I'm sure I can arrange to have it brought in or have it ready tomorrow, or...
That would be lovely. I'm looking for a pearl, actually, about yay big.
Yay big.
Yes.
A pearl. Yes, okay. A pearl. I can arrange pearls. Very well. How much does it need to be worth?
Oh,
There are different sizes. There are different qualities. 100 gold.
Yes.
Those are not massive.
No, like I said, they're yay big.
I can get you pearls quite easily, sir, or madam. I can never tell. I am terribly sorry.
Sir will do, thank you. Yes.
I can get you a pearl. I can have it for you today if you pay a little extra, or it's gonna be here tomorrow morning.
I look at Theodos. I'm not sure yet. Would you also have a diamond, perhaps?
Diamonds.
A smaller variety, about the 50 golds worth.
I should be able to get you a diamond. Yes. Sure, I can get you diamonds.
And as they are talking, is there a certain like they're now occupied with each other? I'll try to look between one of the gems, and I'll try to hold one of them, not like at my eyes, but a little bit at the table. Look at them, see if there's any reaction from the shopkeeper.
Yeah, as soon as you actually hold your hand out towards it, you see almost as if he cross eyes, looks right at you with one eye and keeps the other one talking to Bryn. He's been doing this for some time, you reckon?
Just watching.
All right, so you're looking to get a pearl for 100 gold pieces and a diamond for 50.
Yes, that sounds about right. And I have these to trade, and I'll take out some gems.
When hearing that,
Take out all 7.
I'll return to Bryn and that he's not being ripped off or anything.
Well, yeah, I'm sure I should be able to sell these off again. What were you looking to get for this?
Well, a pearl and a diamond, mostly.
Right, and how many of these are you willing to give in trade?
I'll look sheepishly at Theodos.
Well, I'll take the conversation a little bit over. Well, as seeing of a man of experience like yourself, you know what it's going to take, how much gems you're going to need or going to need for these expenses.
Oh, of course, but you have to realize I will take these gems in return, gladly, but you have to realize that I have to sell them again as well, so trade-ins come with a small profit towards me, of course. Otherwise, there's no use for me to take it in at all. I'm here to sell stuff.
I can understand that. That's indeed how these businesses work.
That's how any business works, otherwise it doesn't work.
And he's just a normal human, right?
Simple human with a weird beard.
Okay, I'll talk to Bryn in Elfish. Hopefully he speaks Elfish. So, do you want to sell all of them, or just a small portion of it?
I'll reply in Elvish. I'm unsure. What do you think is best?
Well, it's normal for indeed, like what he said, like for trade-ins, they have you can't. So I would assume four stones would be more than enough. Then he would have 50 GP to have for himself profits. And that's
Okay. If you think that's reasonable.
yes. And I'll back to 3 of these gems.
He
Look surprised.
he smirks for a second, and he says, "You and I both know that 3 gems are not gonna cut it. I'll make it plain and simple for you." And he completely faces towards Bryn now. He says, "Plain and simple. If you give me 4 gems, I'll have it here tomorrow. If you give me 5 of these gems, I'll have it here for you today."
I'll say to Brennan Elvish, well, it's up to you. You can either do the...
Whoa. He cuts you off. He says, "I might not be able to understand you, but this is a deal between the two of us here. If you wish to inform him, feel free, but do it so I can listen as well. It's common courtesy."
I guess 4 is okay.
And I'll walk behind his back and I'll tap on his shoulder.
Tap who on the shoulder?
Bring up shoulder, of course.
Okay.
Like, and tap like, that's the right thing to do.
I'll rejoice in my tapping.
Very well, 4 it is. Then you'll have it here tomorrow morning.
Okay. I do have to leave early, so could we? Could it be early?
Yeah. We'll get that sorted. If need be, for another gem, I'll come and drop it by. He smiles.
I look at Theodis.
Do I hear the conversation still?
Yeah, you're right behind Bryn, I'll say.
Oh, okay. That's good. We can make this little trip. It's not worth the extra gem.
Very well. 4 gems, a pearl, and a diamond worth 50 gold pieces. Both of them will be here tomorrow.
Thank you very much, sir. Good to hear.
Very well. Then
I guess this is where I leave now.
Yes.
Right.
We have 2 weeks still.
We'll see you in the morrow then, kind sir. Goodbye.
goodbye.
And I'll walk off.
Ongemakkelijk.
In weg.
Okay. The other group, Tess and Sydney. What would you like to do?
I would like to search for someone who can lead us towards the
A library or
some
something?
kind of library or register or something that could give us some more information about the history of that dwarven kingdom or empire that we heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you speak to one of the Wigton Watch, you are directed to go 1 floor up. The fuck was that?
Klonk als een mies.
It's a cat.
Schank voor de pleurs. So you're directed to go 1 floor up, where most of the administration, as I already mentioned, is done. But there, according to the Wigton Watch, is also a library there.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll head there, or at least.
Do we know where the library is?
Yeah, the directions are pretty clear. You go 1 floor up, and as you come up to this floor, it's fairly similar to the floor I just described for the market, so to say, for the shops. There are small little tents, but it also seems like what you reckon. This is a place where people come to sort of explain what sort of goods they're carrying into or out of the city. So in some cases you have to go to a portmaster, and others you go to whoever is in charge of import for the inns and such. But on the right hand side, once again in the wall itself, there is a giant opening or a very wide opening in itself, and it has a sign on top which indicates that it is a library. So this is a permanent spot where the library is present.
Okay. Very well.
It's easy enough to walk towards. It's fairly close to the staircase that you use to go up. And as soon as you come in, you're welcomed by another elf. This elf stands there, and you see a large selection of books already behind him, but it's sort of closed off, like a small wooden fence almost is surrounding this section. You come in, and the elf approaches you and says, "Welcome. What can I do for you?"
Hello, sir. Do you have any books?
Yes.
Of course. But do you have any books on the matter of Geo Del Mar, the rumored ancient dwarven kingdom to the north?
Yes, we certainly do. We have a small requirement of an entry fee for the library here in Wigton. You're free to take entrance. but you are not free to take any of the books or take out pieces of the books, but you are free to take notes. The small entry fee is just for our upkeep and to make sure that everything remains safe here.
And does that include a little bit of parchment and some ink?
Parchment and ink can be provided for a small extra fee.
And what are these fees?
The entry is 1 silver piece, and I'm sure for a few small copper pieces we can provide some empty parchment.
I'll hand the man 2 silver pieces.
Okay.
I think this should cover it.
This will cover it, yes, thank you. And you? And he looks towards Tess.
Oh, hi. And I'll take out 1 silver piece and 5 copper pieces,
Okay.
and I'll hand it to the guy.
He accepts it, and sort of with a small wave gestures you to go in, and he says, I will walk with you towards the section on Gilles Delmar, and I will have parchment provided to you in just a bit.
Thank you very much.
Now, only as you step in, you look around, and it's hard to tell because most of the cases go right up to the top of this room, which is already about 25 feet up. It's fairly large in itself, and the cases go all the way up, but you see that all of them are stacked with books. It's almost like Theodore's background. You see all sorts of books, and without even having to think, the elf sort of leads you past the first few of those bookcases, then goes right, takes another left, and just at that point you just see how deep further into the cave this goes. There's no signs, there's nothing really that points out where what is, but the elf just leads you there. After a certain point, you go right, another bookcase, large bookcase, and then after that, there's a little space where you see, instead of one of the bookcases towards your right, you see what appears to be a large table with some chairs. He leads you towards this table and says, if you would like to sit down, I will provide you with some books. Is there any part in particular you're looking for?
No, I'm not interested in any specific books. Just if you could bring us some books about Gilles Damar and about information about the anvil that might be residing inside of it.
I see. I will provide you with some books. Please, sit down. Don't touch anything, and I will be back with you shortly.
Thank you, sir. And I'll sit down at the table.
Okay.
I'll sit on the table next to Sydney, and I'll just let my legs dangle a little bit.
All right. You sit down on the table itself, and as you dangle your feet, you do see the elf walk away a bit, and then turn back towards you and say, please use the chairs that are at your disposal. And then instead of waiting, he just keeps on walking.
As he turns around, I'll salute to him and I'll grab a chair.
It takes a little while, a few minutes at most, and immediately he comes back with 3 fairly heavy books. All of them have what appears to be a red cover on them, and he drops them down on the table next to you, and also provides 2, 3, 4 pieces of parchment to each of you. These books should provide some more information. If there is anything more in particular you're looking for, please feel free to reach out.
Yes. Thank you for finding these books.
It is my pleasure. Like I said, please don't rip out any pages. And I will be back to check in with you shortly.
Very well.
Okay.
All right. You take a moment to open up the books, and like I said, all of these three easily have maybe 800 pages in them. They're fairly big books by themselves. No pictures, except for the occasional note on the side. All of this is just plain old dry text. In the second book, you quickly peek through it before starting to read. You actually see that sections of it are written in Dwarfish. And then crudely, in some cases, you see no pages torn out, but you do see some notes which have been scribbled down. Some simple translations of the Dwarvish, you reckon, on the right-hand side. Small bits and pieces, but nothing in no full stories laid out. The rest, of course, are written in common. Is there anything in particular you're looking for, or just some extra information on what you can find?
Just some extra information on the fortress itself, and maybe if there is anything more about the anvil and what it was used for. And
Okay. What do you do in the meantime, Tess?
I'll try to help Sydney rifle through the books, but I'm mainly looking for pictures.
Okay, with huge disappointment, Tess, you go through it, and all of the books, everything you go through, you sort of scribble through it. Hardly any pictures. Some very simplistic drawings. Even worse than the artist's depiction of Wigton that I showed earlier. It's nothing really that catches your eye. Nothing that speaks to the imagination by any means, except for some cases the Dwarvish texts that are placed in there.
okay.
You, Sydney, give me an investigation check, and you may do so with advantage since Tess is, albeit disappointingly, assisting you.
There we go.
15. Okay. For some reason, it occasionally tells me I've lost connection, but
Yeah, same here.
maybe just because we're doing nothing. At least not in the...
Yeah, I think that is it.
You have to take quite a bit of time out of your day in order to go through these heavy books. And after about 2 hours of rifling through this, searching for relevant information, searching for sections that are in common, you find a few pieces that may be interesting, but nothing really that provides the actual full tale. You do know that the ancient Dwarven kingdom of Gil Del Mar was an ambitious project, albeit short-lived for Dwarven standards. It was engineered by various Dwarven clans, and it was centered in the Spearhead mountain range, whose name derives from the many abruptly rising peaks that resemble spearheads in the distance. It was established some 1800 years ago and was obliterated after 339 years.
$339?
Yeah. So it's been gone for a long, long time, because even after this all occurred, you know that there was a massive war that took over or destroyed large sections of Mydel in itself. So this has been truly lost through the ages, and you do notice while reading these books, all of these have been written not too long ago, maybe in the last 100, 200 years, but nothing that stems from that time. All of this is hearsay and stories, and that's why it's more difficult for you to actually find any, anything that feels like the absolute truth to you.
Okay.
with regards to the anvil, in these 3 books, there's hardly any mention of a specific anvil in itself. There's only one, and you find it in the extra notes due to your skill check there. And one of the scripts that was written in Dwarvish, you find that it was used to very quickly craft weapons that are stronger than usual in a much more efficient way, but that the anvil would exert some sort of power to make it so that other anvils in the direct vicinity would also gain this power, so that if you are preparing an army, for instance, this certainly helps you with that.
Okay. Well, I also have proficiency in calligraphy things, tools.
Calligraphy things, tools, yes?
And I think that those also might help at analyzing or investigating texts. And
Yeah,
so I would assume that also helps me while I'm doing this.
certainly, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Tess, with a big disappointment, you put down the last book on the table. No pictures, and you feel like, at least for now, you've gained all the information that you would be able to assert from this library here. What would you like to do?
What time is it now, and how long did we spend reading the books? 2
Oh,
hours, you said?
you certainly spent a few hours working here. Like I said, it was the end of the morning earlier. It's already coming towards the afternoon, late afternoon now.
Yeah, I would have tried to read through the books as much as possible. And I'll write down some things that I've written down now as well. So
Perfect. So you're cosplaying as yourself.
without the glasses. Yeah.
After a couple of hours, I'll just get bored and I'll play with my deck of with my deck of playing cards, and eventually I'll just boredly say to Sydney, "Sydney, I'm bored."
You are?
Yeah.
These books?
I mean, there were no pictures or anything, nothing really interesting.
I see.
I don't even know what perpetually means, and it was used mainly in those books.
I'm just, while she's talking, I'm just starting reading. Yes, perpetual. I can tell you what that means.
What does it mean then?
Well, you have different kinds. You have perpetual motion. Something can be perpetual in its place itself. It's just a ongoing thing, you could say. No,
Okay.
All right, you guys are working on these books. In the meantime, Bryn and Theodas, you have plenty of time ahead of you while the other guys are reading books. Is there anything in particular you would like to do before you go towards the wolf's house?
I would look out for some health potions, if that's possible.
I'm pretty sure that's possible. Yeah. Like I said, there's many simple items that are for sale, and many not so permanent stores. So there are a few stores that you walk by that seem to sell specific drinks, specific bracelets, all sorts of stuff that could resemble or could have potions of the sort, yes.
Okay, and what I also would like to do is to search for some rope.
For some what?
Rope.
Rope. Oh, okay, yeah. Rope is easy enough to find. There are some general sort of shopkeepers that have regular items. You'd be able to find one for 32 silver pieces.
I'll try to look a little bit further. If I can find some one with a lower price.
Okay, give me an investigation check. Going through a couple of stores.
That's a 6 total.
6 total. 32 silver pieces seems to be the cheapest that you can find nearby.
Okay. Yeah, I'll walk up to the place and I will do if I'm interested in other items.
Yeah.
Then I guess I'll see the rope. Is it like made from hempen or is
It's a hempen rope, yeah. Fairly straightforward, simple rope. Yeah.
Okay, I'll scurry around through the other general items that are laying around there.
Sure. There's all sorts of things. There's abacus, an alms box. You see different sorts of bedrolls and explorers packs.
Do they
There's
have
plenty
arrows?
to find. Yeah, they do have arrows. Yes.
What are you in for there, Tilas?
I'm a little bit scurrying around. Is there also a fishing line available?
A simple fishing rod or just fishing line?
Fishing line.
There is a fishing tackle that you'd be able to purchase, which includes the rod, the silken line, the bobbers, the steel hooks, everything.
I just want the line.
It's a package deal, baby.
A package deal. All right. How much does some tackle kit cost?
Fishing tackle is 1 gold piece.
And I would like to look for a bell.
Bell?
Small bell.
A small bell. Yeah, a standard bell that rings. You can find one of those as well for 1 gold piece as well.
Okay. Yeah, so while searching through, seeing those items, doing a little bit of quick maths, and I'll say, what kind of merchant is behind? Is it a male? Is it female? Is it tiefling? Is it orc? What is it?
This is a female halfling.
Okay. I will greet her. Good. I'll try to look through the hole. Good afternoon.
Look through the hole. What are you doing?
Oh, you know what? To see some daylight. What time it is, or to make an estimate.
What? If you look through the hole, it is. I understand what you mean now. It is still daylight. It is still daylight, but it is getting gradually later in the day. You immediately notice. It's a little bit overcast. You can still see, but that's about it from where you're standing. Yep.
Good afternoon, my lady. How are you?
I'm just fine. How are you? Are you looking to get anything, love?
Well, as a matter of fact, yes, I do. I see you have some nice assortment of items laying around here, and I would like to make a purchase.
That's perfect. That's why I'm here. What are you looking to do? What are you looking to get?
I would like some fishing line.
Yes, very well.
I would like some, like a bell. You know, that one that rings.
One that rings. I'll see if it rings. Sure.
And I would like 100 feet of rope, please.
Rope. Would you like it to be silk or hempen?
The hempen will do.
Hempen will do. That's 2 more gold pieces. Very well. Would that be all?
Do you perhaps have it's a little bit weird, but certain tools to open locks?
Tools to open locks. We have what they call thieves' tools. Thieves are very sufficient with these. You will get a small file, a set of lockpicks. You'll get a small mirror, which is mounted on a metal handle, and a set of narrow-bladed scissors, love. And for the price of 25 gold pieces, I'll throw in a pair of pliers as well.
A pair of pliers.
It can also be used to disarm traps. It's not just for locks.
I'll think a little bit over it. I guess I'll see the bin with arrows laying around there.
It's not necessarily a bin. It's strangely it's laid out in what appears to be a wooden crate, and there's just a stack of arrows on top of it, almost like a vegetable crate.
Yeah, like that. Okay. Yes. So okay. Well. And if without the pliers, how much would it cost then?
Still 25 gold pieces. You'll just be without the pliers.
I saw what you did there. Sorry, but unfortunately I have to pass on the thieves' tools, as you would call it. How much do I owe you now?
Well, the bell is 1 gold piece. The rope in total would be 2 gold pieces. What was the other thing you wanted? Ah, fishing rod. That's another gold piece. So in total...
Fishing line. I don't need the rod. I only need the line.
Ah, the line!
Yes, the fishing
Well, if I would just want the line, I would have to destroy one of my fishing rods. So that would be 1.5 gold pieces. You can get the fishing rod for 1, though.
I assume it's a kit, because only with a fishing rod I can't do anything, right?
It's a package deal.
And how much were the rope you said?
The rope is 2 gold pieces.
2 gold. And I'll look at the I guess it says 32 silver pieces, right?
What says 32 silver
The
pieces?
rope?
It doesn't say anything, it's a rope.
The rope is silent.
There's no signs or anything. This is just it's a tent with an assortment of stuff in and around it, and this is what you see. Yeah.
Well, the rope isn't that expensive.
Well, I'm telling you, it is, love.
Well, then you can keep it. I'll take the other 2 then.
Very well. That will be 2 gold pieces.
I'll hand her over 2 gold pieces.
Okay. You get a fishing rod and a bell. I will say, just because of this, throughout the market, you'd be able to find a rope for, in total, 64 silver pieces, and you get the length you want. What was it, 10 feet? 100 feet.
Okay.
After Thea just walks out, I'll just say in halfling to the lady. Hello, lass. I'm actually looking for some arrows if you have them.
Hello, love. It's quite a sight to see someone such as yourself speaking our tongue.
Oh, I suppose it must be weird for you. I actually grew up in Stenson, so kind of everyone spoke the language. Kind of had to keep up.
Stanson, you say? I've been there.
I have.
I have.
We've seen each other before then.
I think I would recognize the likes of you if I'd come across you back then.
I'm sure you will. I'm a bit taller than the usuals, I suppose.
Indeed. Yes.
Aye. Could I get the arrows though? And I heard my friend asking about the thieves stuff or something, the tools.
Yes. 25 gold pieces for that, and arrows are 1 gold piece.
If you mind throwing them both together, I'll provide you with the gold.
How many arrows do you need?
Oh, just 20 will do. Just a bundle.
45 gold pieces then.
45, you say? Oh, I thought I heard you say something different to him. I don't quite have that. I have. I'll pick up a gem from my bag. I have one of these, if that's okay.
It would be. I'd have to trade it with the weird guy. Sure, because you're from Stanson, it's a deal.
Oh, you're just a dear. Thank you. Much obliged, lass. I totally forgot though. I'm Bryn.
It is a pleasure to meet you. I'm Hasira Riverfinger.
Hasira. That's a lovely name.
Thank you very much. So is yours.
Oh, thank you, lass. By all means, here's the gem.
Okay, she takes the gem. She takes the arrows as well, and she's sort of, you know how you get too many like long sticks. It sort of wobbles around in her hands as she gives it to you. She says, "I'm sure you have a right place for this."
Well, I was actually hoping to keep him bundled. Do you have like a little bit of rope or something?
Rope is only 32 silver pieces. It's fine. I'll throw it in. She says.
You're too good. Thank you very much.
She takes a particularly small piece of rope and she sort of bundles it around it.
That's fine.
It's not as good as the other one. So it's bundled together, and she provides you with the thieves' tools as well.
This has been a pleasure meeting you there, Sarah. I'd better join my friend now. A good day to you, and thanks again.
A good day to you as well.
And I'll hurry off after to this.
Okay. I didn't think that our first stream would be a shopping episode, but it's all good. Okay, what would you like to do? What would all of you like to do? Is there, anything in particular? Start off with Sydney and Tess. Where are you going?
I would like to get some supplies as well, just some herbalist supplies and some alchemy supplies and some calligraphy supplies.
Okay, you're looking for the specific kits in itself?
Yeah.
Okay, just for the sake of continuing the story a bit. The herbalism kit would be 5 gold pieces. Calligraphy kit. Let's see, calligraphy.
Or calligraphy tools and
To make maps.
No, that's
And what else?
and the alchemy it's an alchemy kit.
That's 50 gold pieces.
The alchemy kit is 50.
Yeah.
Then I'll only take the herbalist and the calligraphy tools.
Alchemist. Okay. That in total would be 10 gold pieces.
Okay. Reduce it.
Very well. Tess, anything you're looking for?
Maybe some healing potions. I don't know how much those cost.
They are not cheap. You move around 2 floors down from where you were previously along with Sydney, And potions of healing are able to be found. It's sort of a magical red fluid, and at the very bottom you see what appears to be even more crimson, dark red bubble inside. It almost like a single drop of blood fell into another red fluid. And as you speak to the proprietor, you hear that it's 50 gold pieces for a potion of healing.
Okay, I'll ask the proprietor if I can get one for 20 gold pieces, since he is sponsoring a dangerous mission which will save all of Wigton.
Okay. The human guy with short reddish hair and a constant smile on his face looks at you and says, I'm going to year off tomorrow anyway, so I'm not too fussed about Mydel.
But still, it would make a, pretty good karma shot for you.
I'm not too fussed about it anyway. Don't really care too much. I'm not even sure what this whole town is called.
Well, the town is called Wigton. It has a lot of people in it, and it's...
Fuck, you're serious? I thought this was Mydel.
No, Mydel is the continent and such.
Fucking hell, mate.
I'll look over at Sydney, and I thought I wasn't bright.
Yeah.
I have no clue what's going on. Overall, if you want these potions, they're 50 gold pieces.
I just observe.
Are you sure, though?
What are you trying to do here, lass? Do you want me to get the watch here?
No, of course not. I mean, the Watch and me are good friends, so we'll have a bit of a pickle there, but I mean, we are on a Wigton saving mission.
So am I.
Oh yeah? What are you saving Wigton from?
Cheapskates.
That's not really that noble, is it?
Whatever brings money in the coffer. I'm a mercenary like that.
A mercenary, you say?
And he spits on the ground.
And a rude one as well.
So I have many other customers that need saving, lass. If that'll be all. And you look behind you, you see absolutely nobody nearby.
Do you see that, Sydney? Invisible customers! It's a miracle!
I just give a small nod.
See, you're making everybody uncomfortable. Just pay up or leave, please.
You know what? I don't even think we need healing potions, and I'll snap my fingers at him. Sydney, we're leaving.
And I'll follow.
Okay. You leave, and you see there's no real other people that seem to be selling healing potions at this moment. And eventually, all of you find your way towards the floor with the inns again. Is there anyone in particular you would like to go to?
I would look for the wolf's house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I heard Bryn talking about the root squirrel. Or squirrel root, or anything like that.
I think we should first meet up with the others, and then maybe we can go there. It's just someone that traveled with me in Sydney. It was just a pleasant treat to say hi, I think. Oh, by the way, I got you something, and I'll give him the tools. I heard you needed these, and I figured you could put it to better use than I could.
You didn't have to do that.
Oh no, I know, but you've helped me out so much in the trading and all that. It's the least I could do.
That was nothing.
No, nor is this. Don't. Just here, take it.
Oh,
I'll push him in your hands.
Well, I'll take it and I'll. Thank you, Bryn. That's thanks.
No worries.
Okay. All of you make your way towards the wolf's house. It's easy enough to recognize as well. You sort of get the feel of the place now, how everything is situated. You look for the particular sign. This case, you see what appears to be some sort of large white wolf, fairly wide and strong, and then a very simple house crafted around it. You reckon this is the place. And even as you come closer towards it, even though you've passed some of the other settlements, some of the other inns, all of them are noticeably very loud. Like, everyone you pass by. And as you get closer to this one, you notice it is extremely loud. There's a large opening. There's no doors that stop the sound from going out here. And as you pass through, you see what appears to be an inn, or like a big bar that has tables go from the entrance towards the end, and on either side. And there's little places like the tables end, but they are extremely long in itself, and there's little pathways in between them. But you see it completely packed to the brim with dwarves, elves, all sorts of people. It is extremely busy, and everybody is just escorted immediately towards one of the tables. And as you come into the opening, a dwarven lady immediately walks up to you and says, "Follow me!" And she starts walking away.
I'll give a quick scan of the tavern to see if anyone is looking towards us.
There's nobody actively looking at you. This is a completely like large hallways. You see at the very end, quite a bit away from you, you see that there are multiple people performing. It's a strange ensemble because there's like 5 people on different sort of instruments, and then there's a dwarf that has its pickaxe still over his shoulder, and very like the rest of them look fantastic, and then the dwarf in itself looks as if he just came up from the mines, and he's singing a tune by himself while the group behind him seems to play the instruments, and he just completely stands out. And there's a bunch of other dwarves in ranchy clothing in front of it, screaming out, "Don D, Don D, Don D." And the dwarf in front just casually sings still. You see that it's sort of like karaoke night. But this entire place is packed, and you see a few dwarven ladies in nice attire walk around the room itself with a large selection of beer and bottles of wine in their hands, and they just put them down on the table and get the glasses away. You should pretty much, this whole entire situation is Oktoberfest.
Essentially.
And a karaoke bar at the end of it. But the band in itself is performing quite well. They definitely have a tune in mind, and the dwarf there is just singing some random song. You're being escorted through, and you notice that the maids are pretty good at what they do. They easily move around you as you come towards one of the tables, and she just says, "All right, take your place here. We'll be right back with you." And she immediately walks off.
Well then.
This is interesting, to say the least.
Quite so.
Guess we're in some kind of party around here.
Yes, I guess we all made it. Did you find anything in your search, Sydney?
Well, I have an idea where the fortress might be.
Oh, that's good to hear. I wish I could have joined you in the library. It sounds fun.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah, they had a lot of books.
They did? Oh, that sounds wonderful. I should go there someday.
Yes, I would reckon you would like it there. Yeah.
You're lucky, Tess. to join them.
Yeah, I had a baller of a time. Yeah.
I can imagine.
Okay. At this point, you take a look around the room in itself, and there's a few places where you definitely see a lot of dwarves together, which appear to come straight out of the mines from below. A couple of what I mentioned are tourists, so different sorts of creatures sitting. Strangely, you don't see the fish in here, unfortunately. But other than that, there's all sorts of people in the tavern. You do see at a little ways away from you, not that even that far, towards one of the walls on your left-hand side, you see that they're playing some sort of game with knives. They stand about a few feet away from the board, which has like a very tiny dot on the board itself, and they throw the dagger towards it, and they have to hit like the target. You see this, and you see the band still performing. So while all of this is going on, we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna get another beer, and we're gonna be right back.
Good.
So,
Welcome back. You missed all the racist remarks that one of us made. We're back in the tavern in the wolf's house. And the party appears to be very much going on. It seems like these dwarves work hard and play hard. What would you like to do?
I'll just soak up my surroundings and see what's going on here.
Okay. You see large banners with the emblem of the inn on it, and you see that all of this is very active. And after a certain while, as you sit on the at the table, the same dwarven maid that brought you to this table comes back, and she has 4 large pitchers of ale in her hands, and in between them she has a bottle of wine, and she just plops it down on the table and says, welcome to the wolf's house.
Question, do you have some water?
Water, yes, of course, it's in one of these, and there's some extra added ingredients. Have a good drink. And she walks off immediately.
I mean, plain water.
Did she put the wine down?
Yeah, she put down the ale and the wine itself, all of it.
I'll inspect the bottle of wine.
Yeah, it's easy enough to see. It seems to be a sort of light rosé, not a dry but sweetish, not Swedish but sweet, sort of sweet rosé.
Okay. Did she give any glasses with it, or?
As you inspect it, you see that she did not give any glasses, just a bottle.
I'll look at my buddies at the table. So you just drink from the bottle, or?
I have really no idea. I'll stand up and I'll go to one of the bars. I guess there is one.
I'm not sure. Could you grab me one as well, Steelus?
Which one?
Water.
Water, yeah, sure, no problem. And I'll head to one of the bars.
Yeah, it's easy enough. There are multiple bars here, and you see that behind those bars there are all sorts of. There's mostly dwarves and humans working behind them, but it's a coming and going of people that are working there. It's they're bringing out new glasses of ale, new bottles of wine here and there. And they're very much in sync with the maids that continuously walk down the long tables and come back to pick up more, bring back glasses, refill them, put them back out. They're very much actively working as you approach him, don't seem to notice you immediately, but while he's actively pulling back and pushing out new drinks, he looks up towards you and says, yeah, what will it be?
Can I get some water? And I'm not meaning ale, just like plain water.
Just give us a moment. We don't usually get these requests here.
Official.
Which table are you at?
And I'll turn around and I'll over there.
At this point, you notice the banners that I mentioned. All of them have a specific color. So for each table, you see one is blue, one is red. Yours is a deep, opaque black.
Opaque. Yeah, I'll at the black banner.
Black banner it is. One water.
No, two waters. And how do you drink the wine? Just from the bottle, or?
If you need another bottle brought, we'll be right with you as well. We'll get another bottle.
I mean, like, do you have a glass with the wine, or?
Yes, it's in the glass. Okay, now we'll be right back with you.
Okay, and I'll head back, and a little bit actually, flabbergasted actually at how that went. I'll reach the table and say, Aldrin, good news, the water's on its way, and test for you. Glass is in the wine.
I'll take a look inside the bottle. Is there a glass in there?
You don't need to roll for that. There's no glass in the wine. It's just in a glass. It's just in glass. There's glass around the wine.
Then I'll just shrug and put the bottle of wine to my lips and take a big gulp. And then I'll head over the table. Anybody else?
No, thank you.
I'm getting water. I think.
I'm good. I'm good.
The dwarf at the very front, which was performing previously, now steps off the stage and is being replaced by another dwarf who's being pushed on there by his friends. I just go ahead. It's your turn. You have to sing. And he says no, pushing back, but he's being pushed on the stage, and the band just immediately starts playing a different tune and continues on as if nothing has changed. I don't know. I don't even know if I have a different tune in here. Give me a second. Sure.
Seeing that going on, I will grab one of the leftover ales and I'll walk towards the podium. I'll say, "Here, drink this. Just do your thing. It will be good." And I'll head back to the table.
The dwarf takes it and takes a big gulp, and then immediately one of his friends takes back the glass and starts drinking as well. As he starts singing, though, it's not half bad. It's actually pretty good. It seems to be a different song than what the band is playing, because as you hear, it's fairly slow, and he just fairly quickly sings out a few words. But it's not bad at all. The rest of the entire establishment is quite active, and there are entire groups that come in and out occasionally. So it's per table, very actively, people coming in and out. There's some food being brought out as well occasionally to specific tables, but mostly, from what you can gather so far, on request.
This seems a very lively place.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
And this is where we're supposed to rest tonight.
I guess.
How does that work?
I guess upstairs.
Yeah, they should have a couple of rooms there, yeah.
But don't tell me how or why or.
I guess we'll see.
I mean, how do you normally sleep, you know? Just close your eyes and drift away?
Yes.
Yes, it's normally a bit more quiet though where I sleep. But I guess this is just new experiences. That's fine.
I will nudge. I will lean over towards Brent. Well, you can use that silent scroll you've got.
Right. I'm not. I'd have to study it first. I'm not sure if this is something I can do. It seems. Well, I'll have to see.
And I'll look towards this. You had a scroll, right?
Yeah, you gave me one, yeah, but I don't think
Did
it works
you-
like that.
Do you know what it says?
I know what it is, yeah, it's a scroll. But
Yeah,
further
maybe-
than that, I'm not really sure.
Would you like me to take a look?
Yeah, maybe Brent can. Well, maybe see what it is.
Yeah, sure, and I'll hand the mysterious scroll to Bryn.
The mysterious scroll is handed to Bryn, and before your eyes, Bryn, even though you've seen this plenty of times, it's almost as if the words don't make sense for a second, and then shift into common. It's not what happens, but that's sort of what it feels like. You see that this is indeed a spell scroll of Tasha's Caustic Brew.
Okay. I'll check out the scroll for a second and probably be engulfed by the text on it, by what's on it, and zone out for a little bit. And after time, I say, "Oh, this is quite interesting."
What is it then?
Yeah, what is it?
It's actually a spell scroll. Well, you might have known that. I'm not sure. Sorry, I was in yours.
Could have figured that, but what kind of spell is it?
Well, I have to study it a bit more, but I think it's sort of a way to propel some acid at people. It sounds pretty cool. Really?
Like an acid splash or
That's-
something, or
Like a bad stomach ache, but written down?
Well, not really like that. It's more like you know how some animals just spit things at other animals,
Yes.
and you get like this filthy goo on them, and it burns. You know, I think
Yeah.
it's sort of like that. I'd need to study it further, but
Okay. Well, that's nasty.
Oh,
Are you-
thanks. I hate it.
right. Are you perhaps using the scroll, or do you mind if I just see what I can do with this?
I don't
Be
see.
my guess. I
Yeah.
don't see a reason. I mean, yeah. I mean, you're a scrolly guy apparently, so take the scroll you want.
Yeah, yes, I've trained with many of these things actually.
Is it worth much though?
Well, I suppose it depends on what you mean by worth much. I mean, I'm pretty keen on finding new scrolls and improving what I can do with my magic, but yeah, I mean, it's worth a lot to me.
Okay.
I'm not sure how much it would be worth to a Fender. I'm not really. Maybe Theodos knows that. He's more of a trader person than I am.
Well, I guess since these kind of, I'm not sure how common spell scrolls are. I can imagine they're not very common.
They, based on what you know with regards to trades of these sorts of items, they are rather rare and could be worth quite a bit. But the ones that are worth a lot are usually of higher level spells.
Yeah, so I'll say. I guess it's for well, for the company actually maybe a better investment. Well, you might learn it, Brett.
Well, I was actually hoping to do that. Yes, if you're okay with that. Like I said, I'm always on the lookout for more tricks to have up my sleeve.
No, I can imagine. So
Thanks. Yes.
please, please do.
You know what? I'll trade it for a favor.
Oh,
What kind of favor?
We'll get there when we get there.
ouch.
I suppose it sounds lovely. Love to do a favor for you.
Cool. Cool. Cool.
Come to think of it, you were asking about healing potions earlier, right? Did you find one of those yet?
Well, Sydney and I did, but the man who sold it was a bit rude.
No, I have.
So we stopped
I have
stopped offering him our clientele.
like I said, I have a spare one. If you want to, I'm not sure if that is equal to the scroll or if it isn't, but by all means, you can have one of mine.
No. Well, sure.
Well, actually,
Actually.
And I'll hand over one of the potions. There you go.
Oh, thank you very much.
But I'll see what I can do with the scroll. Thanks again. Very nice to have.
Yeah, cool.
not a problem, Brent.
As this trade is done, you actually hear "Yeah!" and you see what appears to be a tiefling, a red tiefling as well, male this time, who is wearing some quite fancy clothes, a bit more colorful than yourself, Tess. I don't know what happened to the music. Oh, it's back. And you see that he was one of the people participating with the throwing of the knives against the board, and he seems to be celebrating because the other person passed out, who's now knocked out on the floor, and you just hear him say, "The champion! I'm the champion!" And there's only a small group next to him, but they just half-heartedly just, yeah, okay, clap, and nothing really happens.
I'll look at Theodas, and I'll nudge a little bit. I don't know what they're doing, but I bet we can do it better, right?
What are you talking about? That little game over there.
Yeah. It seems interesting.
Oh, well, please be my guest.
You're not joining in?
No, I'm not fond of these kinds of games.
Alright. And I'll look over at Bryn and Sydney. You guys, what about you?
I'm fine.
I'll still engrossed in the scroll. What? Sorry?
Something with knives. I don't know what it is exactly, but it looks promising.
I have knives.
It seems they've been throwing them against some target that at a wall.
I can throw knives. What do you want to do?
You throw knives at the target, I guess. Let's stoop up the schmuck to see you. Let him show us who's better.
Sure, sounds fun. I'll join you.
Cool. And I think we'll saunter over there.
Okay. Easy enough to do. What you do see is, you notice that when you first came in, they were standing a bit closer to the board than before, and when the guy fell unconscious, they had moved a little ways away from the target, almost like advanced darts, you could say. Every time you throw, you move further away from the target. However, alongside, they stand pretty much by one of the bars, and there is a large selection of ale standing next to them. As you approach, you still see the guy who appears to have a violin across his back. Seems to be attached to some sort of rope around him. And he's still celebrating. Yeah! I'm the champion! And you come closer towards him and you see still the people half-heartedly clapping. Yeah, okay. And he, no, I am the champion! And you see him collect his dagger from the board and just pull it out.
I'll yell over to him. Hey, big guy!
He turns towards you and he has immediately a very charismatic smile. And he says, "Ha! Fellow devil's child.
Oh,
Huh.
don't call me that.
How are you? Have you come to learn from the master?"
So what are you the master of exactly? Just killing innocent hardwood?
It's part of the game, truly. The idea is... it's a competitive game. I don't know if you have a competitive nature to yourself.
Well, of course.
Perfect. Good to hear. Well, the idea is we stand here, and he sort of moves closer to the board again, and you see what appears to be just a single round target with a black dot in the center. It's not too small. It's something you feel you could hit from this distance. And he has his dagger out, and he just flips it up in the air, grabs it, and throws it towards the board right in the center of it.
Mm-hmm.
He smiles back towards you and says, "That's it. That's the game." He says, "But every time you miss, you have to take a drink. And if you hit, we take a step further back. If you miss, you take a drink. You have to down it in one go. And the first one to get knocked out loses." Of course, it wouldn't be interesting if there wasn't a small wager involved.
Why, of course.
I just won 5 more gold pieces. Would you be willing to play for 5?
Sure, but let's up the game a little bit. Do you have a second person with you?
He says, "This is usually a 1v1 game, but I could take both of you."
I mean, let's make it more interesting. You know, I'm a performer myself, and it's my theory called the duality of stakes. You know.
I see. I'm listening.
So if you get a second man, my second man is here, and I'll motion towards Bryn.
I'll look around sheepishly.
Not much of a man now, is he? I'm kidding. We're all friends here.
What if we throw the dagger? Every time we hit, our second man has to take 1 drink. Every time we miss, our second man needs to take 2 drinks.
I like this idea.
So yeah, the first guy to, the first second man to pass out, loses the game.
Very well. Very well. Let's do it.
Looking scared, I'll whisper to Tess, are you the one drinking?
You're the one drinking. I'm the one throwing.
But I don't usually drink. I'm not sure.
No. It's good if you don't usually drink. Then your body isn't used to it, and it doesn't know what's happening, so you can go on for longer.
Oh right, okay.
Okay. Very well. So one of you is throwing and the other one is drinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me just write something down.
So fucked.
What is your Yeah, I got it. Okay. So if you hit, it's 1 drink, and if you miss, it's 2 drinks, right?
Correct.
Okay. Very well. He stands at a certain place from the like a few feet away from the board now. He says, "This is usually the easy part," and he grabs his dagger. And once again, he flips it in the air, grabs it in the middle of the air, and just right in the dead center of it, and says, "I guess I don't have to drink yet." And he walks over, and pulls out the dagger, says, "You're up, my fair lady."
I'll nod to him. How far away from me is the board?
At this point, it's about 10 feet.
Okay. Cool. I'll use minor illusion to create a illusionary dagger, and I'll let it spin it as I throw it up. I'll let it spin double as much as that he did it, and as I catch it, I'll illusion it to go directly into the center of the board.
Okay. Minor illusion, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a sleight of hand check, just to see if you can do so without drawing any attention, because there is a somatic and a material component to this.
Mm-hmm.
16. Okay. You throw it in the air, you grab it, you throw it a bit higher than he did, well, quite a bit higher actually. It lands right back in your hands, and you throw it towards the board, and it strikes right in the dead center. He says, I guess you did well there. Let's proceed a bit further away."
Pretty impressive stats.
Sure. Thank you. But I think there's 1 drink for both of our second men.
Indeed. 1 drink it is.
What kind of drink do I have in front of me?
It's a simple, fairly it doesn't taste too strong, but it's a simple ale.
I'll just start drinking. This is, and I'll try to keep drinking and get it down.
You see, the guy who's with the tiefling is actually human, female, and is fairly shortly stocked and has red hair. And she just immediately grabs it and says, "To you, Mydel," and she drinks it right away.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll saunter over to Bryn and whisper to him, "It's just 3 drinks, man. We're okay."
This tastes awful.
You move a little ways away from the target now, and he steps forwards. Okay, and says, "Now it gets slightly more interesting." And instead of really flourishing it too much, he just immediately throws towards the board, and is slightly off center, doesn't hit the target. He says, "Wow, it must be your good looks," and he starts walking towards the board. And the red-headed lady says, "So I get to drink 2 now, right?
Yeah.
She drinks 2 more glasses. And she's still smiling at the moment. Says, okay, you're up.
I'll do the same thing again.
Okay. So you throw it up again, once again. Grab it in your hand, throw it towards the board, right dead center. And at this point, you see the tiefling look towards you a little bit. It says, that seems a bit odd.
What seems a bit odd, my friend?
Nothing.
I'll just move to the board and remove the dagger, and I'll pretend to stick it in my bag, on my waist.
You see that he's starting to look into your action a bit more. And he's trying to discern what exactly it is you're doing.
Do I see him looking at me like he's up onto something?
He's definitely checking you out at this moment, and he's it might be the good looks, of course, but he might be looking at more than that. Yeah. Zo rol ik onder jouw naam, Brin.
I don't know. He's got his eye on Tess, right?
Yeah, he's got...
Are there people like observing us, or?
Yeah, there's a group of people, and the people at the table who half-heartedly clapped before are actively looking at the game at this point.
And the drinks you get from the bar. So
It seems that they're just put there immediately, so the ale, and then the staff starts working on the other stuff again.
And is it like just the 2 beers, or are there lots of them?
No, there's like an entire row of them.
Right. I'll knowing that this is not my drink, I'll go there and I'll try to shield it with my body a bit, and I'll mutter some words out of my breath, and I'll try to use prestidigitation to summon up a mug of ale or something that looks like it, and just go.
Give me a stealth check.
Because I'm not feeling this shit. 16.
Okay, looks to be rather successful. It does look like ale. It still tastes, what is it, watery in this case?
No, I'm just. It's an illusionary image that
Oh, you fake the.
I make kind of a trinket, and it disappears at the end of my turn.
Okay. So far, it doesn't seem like they've seen what you are doing. And he
I'll
says,
stand there looking happy about that.
he throws another dagger towards the board. And this time, he does hit the mark. And says, well, we both hit the mark now. And you see the redhead now take another swig, which is one more drink. Okay. And she seems to be still fine. You now step even further away from the board and says, alright, I think it's time that you go first now. No funny business.
Sure. I don't know what funny business you're talking about. If you care to expand, I'm willing to listen.
He says, no, I'll just keep an eye on you. Please, go ahead.
Oh, just now you're keeping an eye on me.
He says, I might keep an eye on you for the rest of the night. And then he laughs. He says, nah, let's just play.
I'll look at him a bit awkwardly, and I'll throw an actual dagger.
Okay, go ahead.
But I'll use Tides of Chaos to give myself advantage.
All right. Very well. So you use Tides of Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
That'll do.
Yep.
13. You stood a little further away from the target this time, and you throw the dagger, and it's an inch wide at most, but it's wide. And the tiefling now looks over his shoulder towards the you, Bryn, and says, 2 drinks. Go ahead.
60 breath. Okay. Are they watching me?
They are at this point. They're waiting for you to drink.
I'll stand there sheepishly and take the 2 cups, hoping for something to help that distracts someone. I'll just start trying to down one.
Do Sydney and I see this going on?
You guys are way at the table, but I would say that occasionally you check in just to make sure that these guys are still present. You do know that the game is going on, but not this particular moment. You drown another 2 drinks.
Yeah, I'll just go. And I'll drink it with.
As I see Bryn coughing, I'll put a head on his shoulder. You'll be all right, friend. You'll be all right.
With this.
I'm not sure.
With the second drink, I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Sure.
As you take the first drink, you already almost throw up, and then you see the rest of them looking at you. You sheepishly look around to make sure that they're still looking, or if you're able to pull something else off. And then you force yourself to take the second one, and as you do, you gulp, and you just feel, you don't go completely out, but you sort of fall backwards and hit your head on the ground, and you're immediately unconscious. And at that point, the red tiefling male puts his hands up and high fives the human female that's standing there and says, "The champ is here! The champ is here!"
Well, hearing that going on, I figure that they lost. So I'll go to the little game and see what the damage is.
I'll just hand over this guy 5 gold. But as I do it, I'll look him in the eye and ask him, what was your name again?
Hi, my fair lady, I'm Modean.
And where are you from exactly?
Oh, I've been all around, actually. You could say I'm a man with many houses.
I can't even imagine what that means.
Well, sometimes you don't wish to stay in the one spot for too long, lest people get suspicious. I'm a traveling man.
And what is it people usually get suspicious about?
My good looks?
That seems a bit random to get suspicious about.
He just smiles, says, "Care for a drink?"
I'll look over at Bryn. I think I'm going to take care of my body.
Bryn, can I get a death saving throw? No, I'm just kidding. You just fell backwards, and you did lose like consciousness for half a second, and then you just feel the terrible taste in your mouth, and it pulls you back in, and you're right on the tavern floor. And like I said, these maids who are walking around are very, very busy, and they don't really have time to clean up the floor too much. So as you try to get up, you just feel yourself sticking to the ground a bit, and your clothing being dirty, and you get back on your feet.
Did we win?
Almost. And I'll help Bryn up and try to keep him stable for a second.
Easy enough to do. You hold on to him. You do see him wobbling a bit, but after a certain while he recovers.
Tess, why do you look fluffy?
Fluffy. Well, that's just my hairdo for the day. I would say.
Okay, cool.
I'll cast prestidigitation to clean him up a bit.
Yeah, with a quick woof, The clothing and everything seems to be fine again. It's almost as if a big gush of wind surrounded you for a second and then mist cleaned you all up.
And this will sober me up a bit, and I'll say, "Hey,
Hey,
that you can do that too?
sure, yeah.
Cool. You're. I thought you didn't do magic. You couldn't read the scroll.
I'll show my deck of cards. I'm a different kind of magician, so to say.
Huh. Okay. In what way?
I can show you, and I'll show him some card tricks. You know, some shuffle tricks and throwing cards up and down, and those kind of things.
Yeah, easy enough to perform some shuffle tricks that, Bryn, you've not really seen before. You've seen people, occasionally on the side of the road, actually, performing tricks for cash. This is similar, but so far from what you see, you never really pay too much attention to it. But she's quite proficient at what she's doing.
This is all quite interesting, but the thing you just did to my clothing, that was something different, wasn't it?
Oh, that was more instinctual than this. Yes.
Because, and I'll use prestidigitation on her, and don't know if there's anything worth cleaning, but I'll try. I mean, this is something different.
Most of what you saw from Tess so far, it's been pretty spotless. It's been pretty clean, pretty well dressed.
I'll dirty it then. I don't care.
Easy enough to do.
Well, it
Just
seems
to do
we're a
things.
bit cut from the same cloth there, Bryn.
It seems that way. But you didn't study to be able to do this, or did you?
Nah, studying isn't really my favorite kind of ambition. No.
Didn't know you could get magic in other ways. Well, I suppose I did. Huh, that's pretty cool.
So how did you get your magic?
All books. Studying poses and words of power, and turning the weave into what I want it to be, mostly.
Okay. Well, interesting.
I've been trained by my mother and by my tutor, Finnish.
Okay.
While they are talking, I'll come closer and I'll say, "Everything all right here?"
I'll just give an awkward thumbs up. Yeah, we're okay.
Yeah, I heard we almost won. I think. I'm not sure. Yeah.
I think he cheated.
Yeah, well, I heard him saying that the new champion once again prevailed.
Yeah, champion schmampion.
I didn't think you drank ale, Bryn.
I really don't. It's dreadful stuff. I thought you said I could handle
Then why did
this
you do it?
Tess. Well, Tess said it was fine, and I'd be able to do it.
You were, yeah.
Did you
Did I what?
handle it?
I'm not sure. Is this
Oh,
what's supposed to happen?
It's a possibility, yeah.
You seem very uncomfortable, Bryn.
Yes, I've never had this stuff. It's dreadful. Why do people drink this stuff? It's yucky.
To make the inner boo-boos go away.
The inner boo-boos. Are you trying to say something, Tess?
People drink mostly just to forget their worries and such.
I wouldn't want to remember drinking this. So that's a weird paradox there.
Well, there are other ways to forget about things.
Yes. Well, we have anyway. We have water at our table, if that's what you want.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds lovely.
I think Brinka would need some water, yeah.
I feel thirsty.
Easy enough for you to go back to the table. It's all still set up. As you arrive, you see one of the maids actually come back with a group of 7 people towards your table and say, "Oh, this is never mind. We'll find another." And she starts walking.
Can I?
She's right off again. Yeah.
What is it, Bryn? Do you want something?
I was just wondering about the rooms or where we'd stay. I think I don't feel too well. I think I'd
Want
better
me
be
to
off to bed or
escort you
something.
to your room?
If you wouldn't mind, I'm not sure where to go, and well, parts of the room are spinning. I don't know why.
Well, that would be the after effect of the alcohol in your blood.
That seems inconvenient.
Yes, I can maybe make you something to relieve. Yeah.
You know what? You guys wait here. I'll talk to one of the ladies at the bar. Maybe they know where we need to go.
Yes,
Sure.
quite. And I'll escort Bryn over towards the tavern owner or the one that's behind the bar. Hello there, sir.
Yes, hello. What's going on?
We heard from Deacon Shadowspike that he had some rooms for us.
Very well. Yes. Names, please.
The name is Sydney Brightstone, and this is Bryn.
Bryn. Let me see. And he stops for a second and just pulls out what appears to be a large sort of ledger. It says, checked in today? Leaving tomorrow? Is that you?
Yep.
Very well. On your left-hand side here, you should see the entrance going over there, that direction. It's a little ways down the hallway. There's a few rooms. You should be in room 33 and 34.
So we have 2 rooms in total.
No, I was gonna put the other 2 in separate rooms. Unless you want to sleep together. Is that a thing here? Okay.
No, I was just wondering what the idea was. If we
No, there's. I see 2 of you. I see 4 in the reservation.
very well.
Just the next 2 numbers is yours as well.
Very good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And he continues working with the glasses. It's a continuing process, just tapping beers and getting bottles of wine out.
So we have 4 keys now.
Yeah.
And I'll Bryn, if you can hold on to this bar, I'll be back in a minute. I'll give these keys to the others.
Sure, I won't let it drop. I'll grab hold of the bar firmly. Trying
And
to hold it
I'll
up.
Give me a strength check with disadvantage. Sydney, you make your way back to the group and you're able to provide them with the a 2. Okay. You're able to provide them with the other keys and make it back towards the hallway that the guy behind the bar pointed you towards. What seems different is there's this small door that sort of automatically opens and closes when you get there. So you have to push through, but it immediately closes down back behind you. And there's a thick layer of wall of rock for the beginning, and then you continue down a fairly dim hallway. It has nothing of the spectacular scenery that you saw outside of the in the cave itself, so to say. It's fairly straightforward, fairly simple, except for the very bottom and very top. There's a small gold line running across it. And after a certain while, you start reaching rooms that start coming and more rooms. You notice that this goes for quite a way down into the actual cave, like a very long hallway. It's easy enough to find your rooms and both of you to go inside your own for the night.
With the herbalism kit, would I have enough to make a simple antitoxin?
Antitoxin?
Just a very simple one. It wouldn't have to be an item or anything, but just something I can give Bryn to alleviate a little bit from the alcohol.
I would say you would be able to complete a very, very simplified version of it. You're not 100% sure if it works, but here's hoping for the placebo effect.
Yeah, something like that.
Quite susceptible for that.
Yeah, I'll just say, here, Bryn, just
have this placebo.
Take a sip of this. This will help you help alleviate the drowsiness and the dizziness.
Oh, thank you, Sydney. You're too kind. And I'll gulp it up.
Okay, you gulp it up. It's almost as bad as the ale by pure taste of it. It seems to be a bit thicker as well. You're not quite sure what Sydney put in there. But, yeah, it almost feels like it might be working. Yeah. Maybe it's better in the morning.
It doesn't taste great, but it seems to be doing things.
Yes, it will need some time to take in effect, but for now you should just take some rest.
Aye, that sounds lovely. I'll do that. Thank you, Sydney, for watching out for me.
You're welcome.
Theodas. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sydney.
No, I'll just lock the door behind me, or if you can, just lock the door behind me and head out.
I'll lie down and sleep.
Theodas and Tess, you're still in the bar. Anything else you would like to participate in or do before the night falls for you as well?
No, I don't have anything on the agenda.
Tess?
Just try to do some parlor tricks and get some more money for myself.
Okay.
Give on a little show on top of the tables and then fuck off to bed.
Very well. You do give a little bit of a show, and as soon as you bring out the cards, you see that some people are attracted to the table immediately, asking if you're actually participating in simple card games or anything of the sorts. But as you say, these are tricks, and a couple of people drop off, and the others are still entertained and watch you. You get a few copper pieces here and there. In total, at the end of the night, you wager there's 1 silver piece in there and about 13 copper pieces.
Okay, I'll still take it. I'll try to finish off my show as I see there's not many people interested. I'll try to finish it off with a combination of a chromatic orb and a minor illusion. To send a fire-filled chromatic orb into the air and have it explode and make it look like fireworks.
Okay. You are free to do that. I'm not sure. Chromatic orb. What level is that?
Level 1.
Okay.
Seeing that this is going on, I will head towards the bar and ask for my key to go to my bed.
You've been given the key by Sydney already.
Okay, I'll just leave to my room, seeing this going on.
Sure. Roll for performance, Tess, and then roll the chromatic orb, please. Just to see if the wild magic is with you tonight.
No, it's not.
Fireball on yourself.
You blow up the tavern.
Let's see, a roll for the wild magic search.
No, I think if you do a chromatic orb now, it will automatically roll it for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to... Oh! I did not set it up here. Okay, I'll roll it for you.
Okay.
What can it be?
Question marks.
It's an
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Ik denk dat het een goede keuze was geweest. Well, that doesn't sound good, that the DM is...
Ik zit hem te denken wat het ook alweer is, welk getal het moet zijn. Dus ik ben helemaal aan het
Het moet een 1 zijn.
69?
If you roll a 1, roll on the wild magic search table to create a
oké.
magical effect.
Oké. Ik dacht dat het 20 was.
Mag ook voor mij.
Okay. You shoot the chromatic orb in the air. It explodes in all sorts of directions around you, and it's singular lights that shoot off in all sorts of directions. There are a lot of chandeliers hanging around, and it just shoots through them. without any issues, and then small little explosions everywhere, and you just see the as it goes up, and then there's a couple of claps afterwards, mostly by Modean, who's still at the bar, clapping and smiling, saying, "Excellent, excellent."
I'll look at Modean and I yell at him. For 5 gold pieces, I'll do it again.
No, thank you. And he turns around and continues drinking.
Okay. Doing a small bow, I'll jump off the table and head off to my room as well.
Okay. And with that, the night falls for the party for the first time together.
All separate.
Well,
Separate rooms.
there's walls in between, but you're still
Our
together.
hearts are melted as
Oh, he's gonna stay.
It's the first, but certainly not the last time we're going to sleep.
Well, you don't know what happens in the night.
Yep. We all die.
I'm passed out.
End of campaign.
Get slaughtered in the night. Have fun.
I did like carrots.
All of you wake up without issue. Bryn, you feel like the antitoxin from Sydney actually did help this morning as you wake up. And coming into the main area, it seems pretty odd. It's still going on. The party from last night is still going on. There's still a lot of people at the tables, although there are noticeably more people who are drinking. There's still a very drunk dwarf who's singing in front of a band which has been totally replaced. The dwarf is laying with his head on a stool and just singing, completely wasted, but still there and partying. And you do see that more tables have a little bit of food laid out on them. What would you like to do?
We're just all coming down together, or
Yeah, shortly after each other. It's it's not much of a difference between all of you.
that really worked, Sydney. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The anti thing, the clearer upper.
Yes. Yeah, it's quite effective against.
Yes, I feel much better. Yes, very.
Well,
Good.
why is he still gagging?
Oh, sorry, that was just some sound escaped me. Sometimes I'm not sure my system is used to this kind of thing.
Right.
I've had 2 foul liquids last night, and
2 foul liquids. Well,
Yes.
I know ill, but where did you get the whole liquid?
well, like I said, Sydney prepared something for me. It seemed to do its job, but it's let's just say I don't really.
A little bit skewed. I'll look at
My tummy isn't what it was yesterday, I suppose.
a little bit skewed. I'll look at Sydney. Do you need a drink for him to get sober?
Well, it's an antitoxin. It helps alleviate the poisonous effects of alcohol.
All right, and I'll clap the shoulder of Bryn and say, "Yeah, that helps you to drink a foul potion, then go for it." And I'll go to the bar and I'll order some food for us.
Sure enough, even though, like I mentioned, the people are still quite busy, and the guy behind the bar, this time replaced by somebody else, is still actively pushing out drinks, getting empty glasses. It's almost as if nothing changed except for the very, very drunk dwarven guy singing. As you come towards him, he does look up towards you immediately. Says, "Yep. What'll it be?"
I would like some roasted duck if there's here.
Duck. No, we do have pheasant, phoenix. We have smoked bear and watercress. We have roasted veal and saffron and millet bread, I think. And we have stewed sausages and watercress.
Yes, and that's what I'll answer.
I'm gonna need a choice here. So, braised phoenix and chestnut bread, braised pheasant.
Yeah, give me a pheasant breast and chestnut bread, walling bread. I would like some bear meat. Yeah, let's do that.
All right. We'll be right with you. The food should be out shortly. It's already mostly prepared. Where are you sitting?
At the Black Banner, or at least it was when we left.
The black banner is filled up. Maybe you could sit at green over there. And he points you towards green.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, easy enough to sit there. All of you find your place at the table. It's still rowdy. It's still busy. It seems, to your understanding at the moment, that these dwarves work in some sort of shifts, and that whenever a shift is over, they end up here. So, you sit at the green table, the green banner table, and after a short while, food arrives. Yep.
Okay.
Ooh, chestnut bread.
Yes,
There
just
is indeed chestnut bread. Some other foods. Nobody comes to buy to ask for any gold or silver pieces or whatever here. It seems like they are already aware that you're not here or not required to pay.
I'll eat heartily.
Yes, same.
Okay. A short while after you're eating, you do notice that a person from the Wigton watch comes in, easily recognizable by now. Dwarven female again. This one has very, very short red hair, almost like a small little mohawk that runs down the center. And she walks straight over towards your table. She says, "Hi, the horses are ready. I think you're about to be on your way today. Have you had a good meal?"
Oh, blimey. Yes. I need to pick up a few things. Can I do that quick?
Yeah, I'm just here to tell you the horses are ready. If you need to pick something up, that's all fine. If you go towards the top, they're the very white horse and the very black horse, and it's a singular cart. You should find one of us still right by them. They're right near the entrance.
White horse, black horse. Good to remember.
Bryn, I will join you on your venture.
Ah, jolly good.
Okay.
And you too?
I think. Well,
I will head towards the entrance already.
I'll join Buddy Theodus.
Okie doke.
I would like just to get some stuff I can use for the herbalism kit, and just to get a few ingredients, maybe some kind of a component pouch or something. I'm not sure if there's something for an herbalism kit.
Sure. We'll say that while it's early in the morning, you notice that a lot of these stalls are still being set up, and from what you can tell, they're not open yet at the moment.
Okay.
Bryn is able to pick up the supplies, but we'll definitely make note that you're in search of something like that.
And while I am picking up these items, can I find somewhere to get the stuff I need to get the spell scroll transcribed into my spellbook?
So you need, I believe, parchment and...
It's a bit vague about that. I need stuff to practice the spell or to transcribe it. It could be parchment, could be just materials to attempt some things with. Depends a bit on how you see that.
Yeah, I would say usually it's from what I understand, it's fine parchment and fine ink in order to be able to transcribe it. But if there are any other suggestions for that, we'd be able to look into it.
Yeah, sure. Maybe I can, for now, say that I'll use... You need to pay 50 gold worth of per level. I think it's level 1 spell.
Yep.
So maybe I can exchange one of those gems again.
Yeah, we'll start with that.
Yeah.
That sounds good enough for brevity, indeed.
Yes. I'll go minus 5 gems then.
Okay. As you make your way back up towards the top level, You do see the cart, but it is accompanied by what appears to be a brown horse and a gray horse. Other than that, nothing different. It's just what I happen to have on one of the maps.
Hey, Thedos, I think she's weirdly colorblind.
Yep, that's now canon.
A horse is a horse, so it doesn't really matter which color.
Look at my
certain so.
horse.
My horse is amazing.
No, we're not going down that path.
Yes. We are.
No.
Right, and as you prepare and set off towards the keep, we will end for tonight, as it is 11.
It is 11.
So we'll be stopping the stream as well. Thanks everybody for watching. And we'll be putting this on YouTube, on our YouTube channel very soon, once we find a way how to figure out to do all of that. And have a good night. See ya.
Cheerio.
Bye.
Bye bye.